bat time, same bat channel. For now, though, we're going to pass you over to the big kahunas in Sharif at the green screen. See ya.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to take, they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So make sure to join Adara and I on the How to Trade Midday Show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. And hopefully Neil and Sean will be able to get to them, but only the top 5 do make it on, guys. There is the look at the triple Qs. Big move down today for the future. We're down about 1/3 of a percent, or a percent and a third on the NQ, about 0.5% right now on the ES, and the Dow just marginally red. Likewise with the Russell, marginally green. So they're doing a little bit better there. The ES and the NQ really taking it on the chin today. But we'll start with NVDA, expecting a big report on Wednesday. Most analysts are expecting them to increase their year-over-year revenue by 100%, with other areas as well looking to grow. But we're all going to have to wait by bated breath, guys, today, taking a bit of a nosedive.
100%? Well, we'll see what they do. I mean, nosedive is a bit overstating it for 3% down on Nvidia. I mean, the stock's done a move a little bit since that Black Monday. So, I mean, it ain't all that bad. When you zoom it out far enough, you're still 30 change, 32, depending on what you want to work that low as, that $90 move. So it's just a matter of pulling back into last week's lows, and you haven't even done that. So I don't think it's necessarily all doom and gloom, but there's no doubt about it. Nvidia rejected the breakout this morning. Try to break through a 131 level. We're like, not taking it, not taking a break on Nvidia, wait for a dip buy at support. It got down to Friday's support level. It bounced a little bit. It was able to get back into like 126.5 was that support. It was trying to get past 127.5, failed it underneath. If anything, it still looks like a weak name. 2 said downside. VWAP sits at that same 127.5. That was the opening range top there, at least on the first bounce. So if it gets up there, I think you're still looking fade. A couple of things that have been, in my estimation, weaker or more weak. AMD's at lows of day. It was a huge move up, or at least a good move up to try and get 158, and then it's just been trending down ever since. I had one short on this, and we're in Micron 100 for the second time. So the chips are all rolling back over, but if you're talking about Nvidia this afternoon, if it can't get back above that 127.5, anyone that took the bounce off the 26.5 knows that's going to be the spot for resistance. If it breaks it out, I think it can be one of those afternoon longs, but it just needs to break out past 127.5 on NVDA. For now, still looking shorts on chips, at least the ones under VWAP.
We've just been short all afternoon. I mean, you heard me talking about that with Sharif here, posting it in the chat. Short the TQQs. I mean, all of this, man. We were short when we left you. We're short now, and we're covering. And we've gotten some great covers, and we're still holding it. All right, so we don't have any red stocks today, so everything we'll be talking about will be a profitable talk right now. The only problem was this one. Nvidia was holding. We got it twice off of 127, which is exactly, where's the sticky note today? Exactly the sticky note level that we put down was 127. When it lost it, we got out of it, which was a great idea. But then I see Neil over here. I got to spend more time at my desk during the midday, I feel like. Shorting that 127.50, shorting that Micron. I mean, Micron again at 100, which again, we've talked about. That was beautiful right there. And then the other one that held up, and we'll probably get to this, maybe not. We took $6 or whatever it was on Meta, and that held 5. I mean, we even wrote down 523. That came within 30, 40 cents of that level again, which would have been a monster trade one more time. So great trading. I hope you guys had a great time on the midday, because there's been some excellent trade opportunities that I can see here throughout. So, yep, that's it for Nvidia. I want to talk about the next trade. If you just stick with us, we'll be talking about that. But I'm thinking shorts here into the rest of the day, as the only thing we have right now is short the market. Nvidia popped to 127. I like that level.
Super microcomputer next. Again, no specific headline for this, but it's been selling off since AMD announced last week that they were buying ZT Systems to basically expand their access into the AI server game or market. Also coming up this week, Dell reports earnings, a direct competitor, super microcomputer. So again, no headline for them, guys, but you see that down move over 8% in the red.
You don't necessarily... I don't want to chuckle at it, sorry, but Yeah, 8% down. Like you think Nvidia, Nvidia's having a bad day, AMD's having a bad day, SMCI down 3x what Nvidia is, but it was a flat bottom break. So every now and then, when support goes, you just gotta have it. I don't know what kind of fills you're getting on SMCI when 600 was broken or 595 is broken. Who knows what the slippage is, because really, until you're firing an order when this is happening, you don't know the price that you're getting. And I think it's just one of those, like, you have to experience it. Meta, we can say what you could or couldn't get when it broke 523. You can say confidently, I didn't get a fill in the first 20 pennies, was able to get something after the fact. But anything remotely within $1 or $2 here, and you were laughing. So it finally broke into the downside after holding on all the last week and a half at that $600 level. For SMCI, I mean, you do have some, okay, you got 540 in here. That was a key closing price after that, massive tank bottom. And then you have that actual bottom at 480. So you do have some pretty significant lows that got put in recently that seems like SMCI has a decent chance to repeat. This is a stock which has not done much of anything to reverse the trend it's been in since that 1200 high. Like, it's just been trending down. It wouldn't be crazy to me. Like, if this thing loses 480, there's going to be a lot of buyers when it has a 3 handle on it. But yeah, bad day here for SMCI. The flat bottom break we liked was Meta, mostly because you know what you're going to get with Meta. The last time I tried an SMCI flat bottom break, I didn't get a fill in the first $1. So, I haven't tried one since.
We're just covering some more right now on the triple Qs as we continue to basically hit the lows of the day. If we're going to start bouncing off of this level, I'm completely fine covering. I mean, we're short right now. I always talk in handles for you guys. Over 100 handles right now in the money on these shorts. So, I mean, like I keep saying, keep posting on here, real trading. I mean, this is like, if you guys are trading the futures, we talk about going short here. We could put on a contract, but I mean, I'm just choosing the equity. So right now we're watching out as this name continues to climb up the ladder right now. So Fed's daily also speaking right now. So he's saying he's not seeing any signs of weakness, wants to be able to adjust policy as he goes. And it's too early to judge the direction of rates, although the direction right now is down. This is from Fed's daily. All right, let's go talk about the SPY. I mean, we're talking about some sort of situations right now. So let's go over here. Sharif is now back in the building. Let's go think about the SPY.
Sorry, the SPY down 0.5%, looking to go more here, Sean. Last time I looked anyway, it was down 0.5%. Again, we had some economic numbers this morning, but it really wasn't as market moving until later in the day. So obviously, belligerencies continue to take place in the Middle East. We'll continue to watch those, and if they're market moving, we'll report.
Right there, but they keep on going down. And I think that's the problem. We came in today only thinking short the market. I mean, there is no doubt about that. We even talked about it. And what really got us going here was, again, the sticky note level of 68 on the TQQs. So we had actually marked that down there at the top. Watch out for 68 possibly breaking. When it did here, boom, we got in. And then we were just like, all right, the trend is definitely to the downside. Play the trend, be a trader. And that's what we did with the TQs. So, I mean, we're in it right now. We reloaded it all up here. And like I said, that's probably the same time where Micron and all that was there. So I was just looking at the TQs, and I mean, all this for all this. And I'll take that over and over again. So here we go to the downside. I don't have any more bids on this name. This just goes to show you, we've talked about it over and over, have confidence in your plays, put on some shares, put on some discretion, and go for it. So there it is. It's a huge move down. It's the NASDAQ, and I'll choose this over the SPY. But there is the breakdown lower here. I think the market is going to be in a little bit of a problem now for a couple minutes. So we are not buying any of these dips, and we wish we would have got out higher on some names. But it's not worth panicking. The NASDAQ was up 1.7% or something on Friday. So this is just a little bit of a pullback here today, but definitely worth noting that I am net short.
Yeah, the NASDAQ is actually trying to break lows. Well, the SPY did break the lows a while ago, but a half an hour ago. The SPY broke the lows and is continuing to consolidate actually underneath those bottoms. So in the lesson of the day, I talked about failed breakouts for like continuation shorts because there were a lot of them. SPY did the same thing. SPY double top on the daily, hasn't really punched through that local high the all-time highs on the SPY. And then this morning, you had Friday's highs were essentially barcoding in and around, looking like it was breakouts. And there were a lot of stocks that broke out this morning, no questions about it. Like right at the open, things that were breaking out tops and looking like they had a chance to go. Immediate reversal, and all you're doing is start stuffing to the downside. Now, like Sean mentioned, like when you got that bounce in the market in the middle of the day, it was a matter of what you wanted to go to. A lot of things were, VWAP or key levels on the way back to the upside. Micron got back to that 100 flat bottom break. So that's the thing that I'm in right now. Just quickly, if you're wondering, there are some strong, there's no other point to talk about this, I'm just going to say it now. One of the things that has remained strong is that move up in oil. So if some of the negative headlines in the Middle East are causing the move to the downside, worth noting, things like XOM near the high of the day, although even it's starting to pull back off the tops. Big moves for oil. This was a big V-shaped move here in XOM. If you're watching any of the energy names, some of the gains are starting to come back on some of the energy names up at the top here as oil futures are going to close in about 20 minutes.
Rich Tech Robotics makes the rundown yet again. You guys put it on last week. It's on again today, and it's up over 15%, moving up after installing the Atom humanoid robot, drink robot, I should say, sorry, at one kitchen location in Walmart in Illinois. And we've been talking about possibly Starbucks or similar companies picking up this type of technology to get basically a handle on cost. And Brian Nichol, the new CEO there, widely expected to be exploring these type of technologies, not this specific company, guys, but the technology.
It'd be better for them if it was this particular company, because unfortunately for RR here, if the theme is failed breakouts, well, there was kind of a failed breakout today at $2. So this is it on the daily. A lot of times, this is what some of these like smaller cap stocks will look like. On the daily, it tried to break 2. It failed a 2 break. It's been trending down ever since. The good news is last week's highs are some support today. So 150 was resistance last week. 150 has bounced here. If I was looking at this in the afternoon and inclined to trade it, or maybe you're holding along from earlier, I think that 150 level looks like a pretty reasonable one to work off of. Previous resistance turning into some support, but it's just been trending down since it failed $2. The volume has completely dwindled down to near nothing at the end of the day. So not sure there's going to be much to go with here. If it holds on to 150 this week, maybe it does some kind of a consolidated bottom. That has happened before where you get a rejection, you make a consolidated bottom. It did it last week off $1, and then it ended up closing around $1.38 or so. So always a chance if it just kind of sits and goes sideways off of 150 that you have something for the next couple of days. But yeah, I don't see a trade for myself in it unless volume starts to pick up.
I mean, remember, you were just 40 cents a week and a half ago, so you got to understand, like, that's up 4 times. So you are going to get some kind of profit getting taken out of this. I feel like you're safe until you break below that $1. So, I mean, again, a pretty easy trade. I feel like it's $1 to $2, this range, boom, 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 back and forth. You broke it a little bit to the high side. You broke it a little bit to the downside. And that was more than a little bit. That was 60% down, but that was in one day there. So huge move to the downside. I wonder if that was a split of some sort, but maybe not. All the way down there to 40 cents. So I'm just looking at this above the 50-period moving average is something that I'd like $1 or so for RR. And then why not? If it breaks $2 today, I think you can go, right? I mean, that was only this morning. A lot of volume there. If there's any news, breaking through $2, I think is a buy. So yeah, Rich Tech right there is a little bit rich for my blood right now at this valuation, most likely. But if it breaks through $2, we can play some momentum long.
It's true.
Peloton, green again, guys. After last week, they reported obviously better than expected earnings, I should say. Up again. They did get a couple of comments last week. No real new buy ratings, but you got a couple of price target upgrades, and that's what this one is. Baird maintaining their neutral rating and raising the price target on Peloton, guys, a whole 75 pennies.
Wow. You raise your price target 75 cents on a $5 stock with a 22% short float. Yeah, I don't know what it was before. It doesn't really matter. But look, remember, since earnings, they haven't had a bad day. Well, they haven't had a red day, I should say. Certainly a good runner, but it's the I'm still on Rich Tech here. Rich Tech has a 13% short float. It was the 5-minute volume that was up 20%. Peloton does have a decent short float. I want to say it's still 20%. Yeah, it is 20%, so I was right. So 20% short float, a lot of the reason why it's going. It broke out multiple levels last week, but the one today was just $5 here on the daily. There's your break. It couldn't go any higher than the quarter. It held on VWAP in the teens. It lost VWAP. Maybe could have been a reversal into the short trade when it lost VWAP, and now it's lost $5. So right now, it almost looks like a head and shoulders forming if you're into that sort of thing. Friday's high is the afternoon high. If this never gets back above $5, probably worth some shorts going into the rest of this week. So not a great look for Peloton unless you had like the first break through $5 was good. Some trades off VWAP. But now it looks like it's completely fallen asleep here. As I said with RR, every now and then you'll have stocks that do this. They'll hold on to a higher low or like the previous weeks, consolidation levels, and they'll lull you to sleep, and then a day or two later, or maybe that later in the afternoon, they can start to go. So it could be worth a watch to hang on to morning support and Friday's close price, which is the actual low of the day.
Just before we go, Neil just did Peloton, so that's great. I'm thinking of TQs. If we break, now we're at the 50 pre-moving average, I'm going to get half of what we have left. If we break this 68.05 area or so. So I'm actually at 68.10. Just want to bring that to everyone's attention. That's what I'm doing once we get to that level. So hopefully this will hold out. And then if so, fine. And then we'll get out. Like we'll just hold a small piece. And if we have to go all the way to VWAP, then we'll do that for another short. Thank you to everybody in the chat there for the meta callouts. This was a big stock. We sort of talked about this earlier. What a stock through 523. We have it listed right on here. We followed our rules. We did everything we were supposed to, and Meta was fantastic. And it still is, even though, well, actually, I said it was within dollars, and it's true. It's within a couple dollars, Meta versus Micron today. But for me, Meta is a big one, and it only took 5 minutes or so for that drop down, and then we had to wait a little bit. That first trade is right there pretty early at 9:40, and there's the out, the final last out there at 5:18 off 523, so that's $5, and we got out at about 11 o'clock. So that trade definitely working out right now off of the other high. So yeah, that's just kind of what we're working with, and then if the TQs does come down, we will punch out, does go back up into, I might just lower this now to 68 and change, but we're still at 68.10, pretty comfortable with that. Maybe 68.05 if you really want to get spicy, but for right now, we're still short the market and looking for more opportunities.
So after you take profits on those shorts this morning or today, if you're looking to maximize that idle cash, well, for Canadian users, you can enjoy 6% per annual cash balance of up to $10K for 60 days, along with a 2-month commission-free promotion at Moomoo. You can also earn up to $2,300 in cash rewards when you transfer your portfolio. Both rewards can be enjoyed at the same time. With Moomoo, you'll gain access to comprehensive data on stocks, options, and ETFs. Plus, take advantage of algo trading. Allow you to create, backtest, and execute your own strategies. Set up instant alerts to trade on your own signals, helping you take your trading to the next level. Thanks to Moomoo for sponsoring this portion of the show. Big shout out. And hey, if you were short, then you definitely banked today. Obviously, you got to have some targets. Just pointing out, Shauna just went over, the market's bouncing off some of those lows. The ES was bouncing off some lows. Always going to be, concern isn't the right word. Now, always going to want to have a lookout for things. When the market gets to lows, if you're short something that is making a higher low, then in some sense, even if it might be weak, it's some relative strength. So, Micron in here, it's nowhere near the lows that it had this morning. Down 4% is clearly weakened the overall market, but it's now doing this dance around 99. So I've slapped a trail on this just above the 99, and then we'll see where this one can go. And I do have some eyeballs on a couple of things here. There was this, I think Sharif was on this thing. I was kind of hoping to be able to get some short pops on this. It was Jivo. Remember, Sharif was like, Neil, do you remember Jivo from 2020? And I actually don't. There was a lot of names that ran in 2020. This one I don't remember. I feel like there's so many other ones that you like. CEI, I'll never forget them, and some of the weed names, but I don't remember Jivo. But a stock that fails $1 gets on my radar for at least the next couple of days to try to short pops because it's a psychological level. So if this Like whenever you get to exactly $1 and turn around like this, my thought is, okay, well, if it goes to $1 again, maybe take a shot at it. If it goes to VWAP, then try to short it again. And I just heard one of the, it was MPOX. I don't know which one was just moving there, but I heard something about
no, there's nothing really moving. I went over to SIGA as well. Not just a global blah, blah, blah has declared MPOX a blah, blah, blah.
Because GovX is at the highs.
Find out more about this. I mean, you know how awesome they were about COVID and all that kind of stuff. So definitely let's keep our ear to the ground about the World Health Organization.
Wasn't it amazing?
Yes. Okay, so Intel.
World Heroes Organization.
I'm just trying to find out, yeah, oh yeah. I'm just trying to find out what is going on here. So that's Mara. Mara down to 1850. That's okay still. This is Intel right here, trying to get a little bit of a bump up as the market's trying to go, okay, so there it is. We'll say chicken dinner winner. I mean, we take out half on the there. It's not as good as where we were here, but still a great out for us here on the futures as it's starting to go back up, and that's completely fine. Now we hold a little bit of a small piece into what is hopefully a reload, and I mean, maybe it's time for up and away. I mean, Nvidia right now trying to take down that 127 again. I'd like to see a clean VWAP break of 127.50. I mean, we wanted to go long 127. So I feel like if we break 127.50, we could use 127 as our stop, 50 cents. I mean, that would make sense because that's an also retracement break of VWAP. So those are things that I like to look at for sure. We talked about some beat up chip names, and when we go from ARM, or from Micron into ARM now today. ARM was down 5.5% just a couple minutes ago. Now you're down 5 and change, but this is a nice little barcode situation. That has to get back up to 130 before we get too excited, but nice bottom again, 127.50. Good area spot there for ARM, Texas Instruments, Meta. All right, one more look here at Meta, back to 520. So pretty good again, coming right back into VWAP. Maybe that's going to be a good situation. I'm always looking at that spot where we really hit it. And the reason why I think we have to be very careful of what we're doing is like we celebrated and we're going to be at the highest spot right now as soon as we get out of the TQQs because of this. We could have gotten in a lot of trouble where we had such a great morning and then all of a sudden we have some mistakes here on the triple Qs. Like we were shorting and getting out. So we were short, that was good, shorting in and out, shorting in and out. And then we let it calm down for a little bit, settle down. I don't know where the 50 period was at this time. I'd have to reload all of this. But then we kind of used some of these tops as the top and we're able to get this back in. So it's like, let ourselves calm down because we almost got ran over there. So the last thing we really want to do is start to dig into anything right now at these levels. So let's just wait for something to come through. And if it does, then fine. That's why, although Meta to me looks pretty prime to get short rate into here, I've already seen a better trade and that's up here at 522. So we don't have to settle for anything. We might as well wait. Like I said, we've already hit our goals. Like it would be, time to potentially, lower your shares or not look for the great opportunity, like look for great opportunities, but don't just sit there and, worry what to do because if there's nothing that shows up, you don't have to trade anything. So
yeah, never force the issue.
Yeah, that's probably a good word. Yeah, don't force anything. Like we can just sit here all day and be happy with what you've made or lost today. You
don't want to be Trey Lance. Like you gotta survey
like you said, why was it his fault where he got drafted?
Okay, that's true. I shouldn't.
I mean, the guy had 65 snaps in college or something.
No, and he didn't play he didn't play that COVID year.
Right.
So
he got drafted 3rd overall, and still makes more money than everybody here.
Busts don't draft themselves. And you know what? To his credit, the guy works apparently like I don't know. We're talking about the Cowboys backup quarterback.
He's 22 years old.
He's 22 years old, and he apparently works his butt off to try to get better. And he'll probably be in the league a very long time. What I mean, the only reason I said the survey the field, wait for the right opportunity. He threw 5 picks last game.
I saw it.
And it's like, that's sort of the thing. If it's not there, you can throw it away. You can tuck and run. You can take a sack. There's a lot of things you can do. Just don't throw any interceptions. But I did just trail out of Micron. It just broke 99 again. So it does seem like you could get back to VWAP. There's a lot of things that could set up here. Get back to VWAP. You get back to 100. We'll just wait around for that. If the market wants to bounce off those lows, here's my black. There we go. If the market wants to bounce off those lows and get back to resistance, then I want to wait for weak stocks to fade either at VWAP or resistance. In this case, I think 100 matters more than VWAP. That makes sense. Amazon, I never got into an Amazon short, but I mean, Amazon 176, quarter here, or VWAP 176 area. That looks good. I think I'd want to short that one if it comes back in. So just being patient, allowing these to get back a little bit more. I mean, AMD, I don't know if it'll get back to 151.5 where we shorted it before. Not really sure. Mikey, ooh, this is a good question. Why does Sean get the nice chair? See, you know what you guys didn't see? Was it last week you did it?
Stole it. What?
You didn't steal
What
it.
is even happening around? Like,
No,
this is what I do. I say that's a nice chair.
I know.
Chair. I mean,
No, there was a bunch of like really cool Herman Miller chairs that we had the option of getting. Personally, like I tried sitting in it, it just was not comfortable. So I'm sitting in this one because it's the most comfortable chair. Like the old chair, man, the chair that I had when I first started trading, I had that sucker for over a decade, and it wasn't even that nice of a chair, but I loved it, and eventually it just fell apart. I like this one here, but that was last week where I think it was during the lesson or something. Sean was going around just trying to find the most comfortable chair on the floor, and they wanted to be able to show it on camera, but I think they were in the middle of something, or like an interview or something like that. But hey, you just got to be comfortable as a trader. You want to make sure you get that back support.
This chair's not even that comfortable, but.
Well, it was better than the one you had.
Well, I mean, I have the same one as you have. It's right there.
I love these though. I mean, to each their own.
This is it right here, right where the silverback is.
Yeah.
Where is silverback?
I like these ones. You get good back support.
So I just took that chair. They all have them here, by the way. Cat's out the bag. This is an IKEA chair.
Aren't they all like? I don't even know where this is from.
Those ones aren't.
What are they? I have no idea what they're.
I never. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't ever get wiped out, so I don't know, Bill Franz. I mean, I think let's answer this question here. How do you guys handle your risk? I see you never get wiped out. Do you divide your risk in 40 trades daily, or how do you do it? I mean, welcome to the show, Bill. I mean, you'll be going to be able to see many different trades for all of us today, and we have very obviously distinct styles. And I mean, I just think for me, what I've gotten a lot better at lately is just finding the best ideas and going for them. And then trying to figure out support and resistance levels. My trading style is very simple. It's support and resistance, looking for breakouts, and then relatively strong versus weak names against whatever the NASDAQ's doing, which is why I'm always looking over at the NASDAQ. So it's very, very simple kind of stuff. We looked at 523. It was a breaker. We wrote it down. We took profit, held half of it, then got out once, we let it go, found some more resistance levels, broke the 50-period moving average and out. I mean, the same thing here with the TQs. I get a bias in my mind, and then we put on lots of trades. We're sitting on a prop floor. So I have, okay, I'll tell you how many fills I have right now. So thank you, Bill Franz, for the super chat. Hold on a second, 97. So about 110 fills or so. We're going to be positive on all the stocks, and we've traded. Meta only has about 7 or 8 fills. Micron has a bunch of fills. I mean, short into resistance, down, out, breaks 100, boom, out again, a bunch of fills there. So Micron for me has 37 fills. And again, we don't have to pay per fill. I actually get paid to trade. So there's that. We add liquidity. Nvidia is really quick in and out. We have about 20 fills here as we just sort of massage these trades. So it comes in, taking shares, getting out, taking shares, getting out. Once it breaks, boom. And I'm trying to use, again, support and resistance levels and then wait to see if we can get something on the big side of it. That's what gave us these big winners on the TQQs again. So in and in, out. Once we break, see these outs in here? Very, very good risk management from, if I could say so myself. When we see right into here, breaking and out, winning and huge. So that's part of the magic there. And Tesla, this is a funny one because we're actually up on Tesla and we've done really well on Tesla today. And it's going to be one of the top stocks here today. And look at this. This was easy. We wrote down 215, 216. And just for you, Bill, if you go back, we talked about this earlier. There's the support from Friday. So once it fell into this support, we went long. Then we held some. We got a great fill again there. We took some out, under view up, under the 50, took it out, held about 10% or maybe a little bit more. And once we broke it, we got out. So for me, we're at the highest spot today. It's a big time trophy day and we're happy with it. We'll go 5 for 5 and just wait to see if anything else happens here. So yeah, so far so good on that. But thank you for the super chat there. Oh, was that 100 Mexican pesos? Is that what that is there?
I think so. MX, I would assume
pesos,
so.
I think is like, is it 7 to 1, 8 to 1? Good. Thank you for the super tip. It doesn't matter. I always like to look at whatever the currency is and then figure it out. But
sometimes it's hard to figure out. But
cuatro cerveza, por favor.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, last time we were there was fun. But that's another story. One of these days we'll get to it. And just a quick answer to that. I think the simple thing in a general sense is just make sure. Like when you're looking at a trade, when you have a losing trade, what is that relative to if and when you win on that trade setup? Like that's how you got to be able to look at it. So, I look at Pinduoduo. I took a couple of swings at it on an SSR bounce play today. It ends up losing. My best SSR bounces usually make twice as much as 2 losses here on PDD. So like you try to keep it in that kind of a pocket. The way if you do that, then I think you should be okay. If you're gonna have losses that end up bigger than when you win on the trade, then you have to have a different hit rate, right? So in order to do that, like you have to win on a vast majority of your trades. I always try to have trading be that you could win 55% of the time, and the risk reward will allow it to be green. The other question, someone asked me, when does VWAP start on my chart? And our data starts at 6 a.m., so my VWAP's going to start at 6 a.m. That's just when we have the data come up for us in North American markets here at Real Trading. So that's the setting for my VWAP, or I think pretty much anybody's, because I don't think you can get data before 6 a.m. here for the U.S. markets. Still tracking a few things. I want this market hopefully to give us some opportunities to play into some shorts. Amazon's getting a little bit closer to VWAP. So I have this one up. Micron, $100, still at 99.20 or so. But just looking to short some pops in here as we get some bounces in the market, or at least attempted bounces in the market. I don't know how deep it's going to be, but I don't want to force the action too early. Just want to wait for either VWAP or big resistance level if we can pick them up on any of these shorts. Still think there's some strength out there. If we were to break out the resistance on the futures, I think Apple would be a good continuation long. But you can see this dancing in a very, very tight range, not doing much of anything. That would be forcing the trade, try and squeeze an Apple trade out of nothing in here. Ooh, what's that over there?
On Oracle. Oh, this is my kid. So my wife just sent me this as we navigate the roller coasters of the market. They're on this thing right here. This feels kind of like refreshing, I mean, here it comes down. This is not Niagara Falls. This is the ride called Niagara Falls, of course. And there.
Good to know, because I thought maybe.
Yeah, I know. I know you might have thought that. I didn't want to confuse everybody else. Oh, there's my kid. There's my kids right there. They're there right there. Okay. Get your hands out of the water, girl. All right.
Refreshing.
Right. So, again, nah. So anyways, that was that. So
did you ever find out what the specialty food was at CNE?
Oh yeah, what the heck? I forgot to ask her.
I meant to Google it, and I totally forgot. As I was trying to, I had my first physiotherapist appointment tonight for my Achilles, and I booked it last week. And of course, when I go to confirm it today, they're like, "We don't have any booking for you." I'm like, really? So that was. Ultimately, everyone was very nice and polite about it, but suffice to say, I am still going today because I was not taking no for an answer. I'm like, are you kidding me? Let's get the ball rolling with that one. I'm not waiting around forever. Apple juice, I just saw people saying in the chat. That 100%.
Apple's getting juiced?
Well, it's not I'm looking at Apple right now. Apple is anything but juiced right now.
Right.
No, it's not moving whatsoever. Let us know if you see anything that's popping off, because I have a Halt scanner up. I've got some, high of the day Momo scanners in case anything starts going crazy. I heard there was an endorsement for Trump from Tulsi. That did absolutely nothing for DJT, which still feels like there's some selling going into when the Trump lockup, it's not really Trump lockup, I guess it's a lockup for anybody, is done on the 20th. So it's the 25th. That the lockup expires on DJT, but as long as it stays above $12, starting on September 1st, I believe, 20 trading days, it has to be above $12 or whatever. So I think that's almost a lock unless something crazy happens. So the lockup will probably expire before that 25th date, and the selling seems to have already started on DJT. But no really look there. But I am looking for some runners this afternoon in case we see any.
Yeah. It's like I was getting close to shorting more TQQs right now at the 200 period moving average, but I still want to stay with the fact of big day, keep big day, look for other opportunities. All right, market pulling back in just a little bit here. We hadn't looked at, wow, okay. As a shareholder, Starbucks up 1.5 right now. We like that one a lot. I was hoping that it was breaking $92 when I saw it come up on the scanner there, but no, it's coming up on a VWAP scanner to the downside right now. So trying to bounce off of that. So the kind of setup that I'm looking for now is you see like the NASDAQ's coming close into VWAP. So I'd like to see something that has something similar to this, where we can go. And we already talked about Meta, Micron, so I'm already waiting for those stocks. But if there are anything else, I still want to remain net short here. And I know Dan's put in the chat that there is some upside risk here into 19.7 and 19.8. I mean, obviously I feel that as well. But I've been confident and my whole day is made on Meta. It's on the mall, but I was in the afternoon, really, we battled back from taking those early TQ hits on the shorting the NASDAQ to making them back right now and putting it in our pocket. Let's go over to the bank stocks just quickly, just to see if anything's happening there. I saw JP Morgan came across something there. What was going on with, so nothing again. Some of these things just trigger on my scanners. We have trade ideas. Scanner, you can get that from Trader TV 20, get 20% off trade ideas. Right now to grab some scanner, link in the description. Yeah, just probably a VWAP scan. This came about 20 minutes ago, so that would make sense. 218 now dropping back in. I mean, the banks, we already talked about this. Look at XLF. Look at JP Morgan. You want to talk about buying the best. I mean, wow. This name, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 2. So 14 and 2 last 16 days.
Right.
Give or take some bad math there somewhere. But I don't know. That's a monster. All right, man, here go the futures. I guess we're getting close to reloading. If we like to short now, it's put up or shut up. So let's go. This is why we get out of half of what we have left right there on the TQQs when we break through the 50-period moving average. So we're not just a pretty face. We're also trying to trade and using some kind of logic. So right there, that was a good one. And now I'm going to use logic again and think about getting back in and around the 80s. A little bit more of a spike up NASDAQ. And I'll be waiting there to short you. So let's come in just a little bit more, and then I'll see. Break VWAP, and I'll believe it. Other than that, we're fine right now. Let's just see if we can keep putting some, I was going to say whipped cream on top of that matcha latte, but you need the cold latte is what I realized before. I think that's what Adara and Ramin got. And I walked right by the best matcha place, and I was like, from Ramin, and I said, I know, she's going to say fail on this, because I already told her about this. Because I wanted like a latte, like a warm one.
Okay.
But it was so nice outside that as I was walking by, I was like, nah, I'm not going to go. And I don't want to get a tea, like a warm tea. So I didn't get anything. It's literally a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just go right now and come back here in 10 minutes. But at the end of the day, maybe we'll try it soon.
One of my new favorite things is my cold brew Saturday or Sunday.
Yes.
If I get to be in the hammock, I have a hammock out back, and it's like, okay, if I'm relaxing and I want my second coffee, get that cold brew when it's nice outside. I love the cold brew, especially in the summer, but I don't mind I'll still have a hot coffee in the summer on a warm day. I think I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think you're doing anything wrong.
All right, here we go. I have the food.
Okay, here we go. This is what we want to see.
So this is what's going on this year. So a 15-inch diameter donut, that's pretty big. So Pancho's Bakery.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Superfly noodle from Super Noodle. I have no idea what that is. Deep fried pickled Oreos.
See, now that's
avocado coconut ice cream. That might be okay. Creme brulee chimney cone. Okay.
Yeah, but what is?
I mean, I'm down with creme brulee. Karagi. That's nice. That's the Japanese the chicken there.
Yeah.
Soft-shelled crab, not chicken. Soft-shelled crab on a stick. Okay, so that's the style. Giant samosa from Bombay Spice.
That doesn't sound very
I mean, there's some giant things happening around here. This is...
Whoa, no.
I'm not feeling this one.
No.
Tzatziki cheesecake.
No.
Sounds a bit shady.
Absolutely not. No, see the thing, I will probably try anything, as Ramin's like, don't knock it till you try, but I am pretty sure, like, if I will try just about anything one time, but that doesn't sound good at all. How's about no?
Okay.
Foot-long deep-fried mozzarella stick.
This is the thing. Deep-fried mozzarella stick from Pizza. So that makes sense. And then, what? Deep-fried? Like, I feel like the minute you're putting deep-fried into anything, then it is what it is.
It's good.
Deep-fried butter chicken. So butter chicken is fine, but then you throw the Italian in here. Lasagna. So butter chicken lasagna coming through there.
See, now that's more like it.
And before we go to other entertaining things like stocks, this is what my kids are doing right now. Like, they've already had, my kids already had pierogi poutine today. Some kind of, I'll have to see what Marissa messaged me, but it was pierogi poutine and something else. And now they're doing this. Like, this is not, honestly, my car is going to need
What's the worst that could happen?
My car's going to need some cleaning eventually.
It's fine.
Well, nowadays.
You just hose it down, man.
Yeah. It's
I used to work at a theme park, and the best was there were two.
Not throwing up.
Everything was two different types of rides. The ones where you actually had to clean if there was an accident, or the ones where you got a hose that you could just hose it down? And you wanted to be on the one where all you had to do was hose that sucker and then run the ride and it dries itself. But good fun at the CNE. A few of those things sound absolutely delicious. If I get to go this year, I promise you I'm trying at least one. But it's got to be something deep fried. Apparently Upstart's on the move here. Bora Hout in the chat letting us know that Upstart is going up, at least last time we checked. It's breaking out. It's been up a few days in a row and pretty solidly making a run here, potentially into this 50 level on the daily chart, if we can come for a quick little second here in the daily. So there is this little channel here, 43.25 into about $50. And that was the turnaround zone going back to late last year. So it is running into some level of resistance, I think, at that level, but looking pretty strong. Amazon just got to VWAP, obviously. And I say obviously because I just offered in front of it. So it didn't get to 176.25 on that last push up. Instead, oops, let me zoom in here. Instead, it bounced, failed VWAP, kind of did that wick. I'm like, okay, let's short it to VWAP in here. So we're shorted in the mid 70s, give it into VWAP. But I do like the look of that Upstart. And there's another mover here, Redfin. RDFN has been looking pretty strong all day long. So this is what it's doing. Well, maybe not all day long, but half of the day at least, or more than half the day. It's breaking out the top. What's more interesting about Redfin is A, the daily chart looks good, B, double top Thursday, Friday. So this double top, this looks really spicy. 1165 was that double top. It's pulling back into that previous high for Thursday, Friday, and this morning. So I think some continuation, if it can bounce off 1165, this looks like a pretty good continuation play in RDFN. I believe they have a decent enough short float, 17% short float as well. And they've been running since earning. It's actually almost a double up since their earnings, which came on the 6th.
People were talking about Redfin a lot.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, Meta's going
V-shaped
now.
recovery-ish.
All right, so I'm still trying to figure out these futures, but yeah, Meta's going. Sorry, that was Amazon I was looking at up there. Yeah, Meta's still not at 523. I was actually more concerned, and that's why I was talking about Amazon. Sorry, my bad. Right there as Neil was talking about Redfin. Amazon's at VWAP, so we're talking about some of the market getting there. Amazon's there right now, so it is going to be a little bit stronger than the market. As you can see, I still think this 176 looks pretty good. So you're getting close to maybe going short now on Amazon if you did want some smoke there. I mean, that's 176.20 or so for AMZN. Debating doing that, but also, you know, into the end of the day, I feel like we've done pretty well trading some of these TQQs because then we're not. Thank you, Adara, for the reload right there. Thank you. All right, so we'll see what happens now as we're getting up to VWAP again, and now it's a little lower than it was before. We're gonna have to adjust some of our orders. So I've already canceled my stop orders, and now we're gonna go in and wait around here. Like, why not? I always want to give this, like, you know, try to find some levels that are a little bit higher of where we could possibly get stopped out. And this is, I hate talking about it. We always talk about, especially on that Freedom and Wealth podcast, like, don't talk about negative things before they happen and stuff like that. But this is not speaking negatively. This is trying to risk manage. So right into here, 69.20. Just trying to think, like, if we get stopped out, which is always possible. Anytime you put on a trade, there is risk involved. Where are we thinking about this stop out? I'm almost wondering about just a quick one, like 69, like that's VWAP right there. That's really 69.90, sorry, 68.98 or so. I don't like to be that exact with these things, but, you know, too much above that, I think we could probably stop ourselves out. 69.10, 69.15, this top wick is 69.20. So, all right, so that'll be my new plan of action. So if I'm going to get stopped out, I'm just going to take you through what I think. If I'm going to get stopped out around 69.20, how many shares do I want to have by that time? How can I properly layer into this stock? Because not all the time are you going to get $69 exactly at VWAP. So sometimes you have to put on a little bit of risk down here. And how much is that when you get all the way back up? So I'm going to put something on here. We just maybe in the 75 or so, put on a couple shares. I'm actually already waiting here. Wow. All right. I was already waiting at 78. So I just spent all that time talking about what I was going to do, and I was already sitting there. So I've already gone through this process. I'm glad we could talk about it together there. But I'm going to be short, hopefully near as many shares as I would have had here, back around 69, and give it 20 cents. We took $1 and change. So we can give this on 20 cents. Will we give some back? Yes, we will. But if it hits again, then we should be golden. And it's a stock that we've been really hitting well. So we have no mistakes yet on the TQs other than almost getting carried away right there. So we'll try it against VWAP again. But the best part about it, it has a direct out. I think that is
the
easy.
key.
That's easy. Then you don't have to question yourself.
Yeah, it's not, to me, it's not negative having an out before you get into the trade. It's just sort of, it's like the cost of the trade before you put the trade in. Right? It's like when you make a call in poker, you're not sitting there saying, oh, those chips are gone, but you put them in the center. You know that that's what you're risking, and that's what it's all about. So Redfin's trying to break out the high. I am on the bid here in the 60s. What did I actually end up getting there? 68, actually. So it bounced off like 64. It doesn't really get back into the 60 level. It bounced off 64. I'm sitting at 68. If it does take out the top, I'll probably end up taking a break through 1180. There's a little bit of, it's not a ton, but there's a little bit of size at the 1180 level. If it does make a break out of the top locally, I'll try to take some there. Looking to get this consolidation long, double top on Redfin, both today and Thursday, Friday. So it's actually a triple top on the daily. Havana Woody, I'm telling you, trading crypto to crypto is as fun as penny stocks. I don't necessarily doubt you. They're Havana Woody. We trade equity. We do have some actual crypto names here, but we have to trade them individually. So going in and out from one to the other on one of the exchanges is not something that I've ever done. Actually, that's not technically. Technically, I've messed around on Coinbase going in and out, but that's not anything real. I was just testing out their system when I bought the stock. I'm like, I should probably have an idea of how it works, whether it's reliable. So I put some BTC in there and did some messing around. Probably still have some Doge from that. Not that I care too much about it, but you got to trade your own things. I don't doubt there aren't opportunities elsewhere. That's a good thing about real trading is you've got, get equities, you got futures, you can trade Forex if you want. You can trade European markets, you can trade Brazilian markets. I mean, you can trade just about everything here if you want. Oh, and speaking of that, let me just get it up there. As I'm saying it, I might as well, because we got to be talking about the campus program. So if you want to learn to trade a curated program, which allows you to learn about the markets, trade live, gain real experience in the markets, and if you're in Canada, the Real Trading Campus program is back. So check out realtrading.com/campus. You can check out that QR code below. The link is in the description of this video that you're currently watching or this stream that you're currently watching. And as I said, it is about trading real money and getting real experience for free. It's an absolutely free program for traders who want to do it the right way. That means learning about the markets in phase 1. That means getting an introduction to a professional trading platform, Pro 8, that you see all of us here trade on. Lightning fast execution, access to pretty much every single market and gateway that you can think of. You're going to do that for a couple of weeks. Then you go into the simulator. It's a fantastic simulator. You get good fills. You get one-on-one training and group coaching. Some of the coaching will be done by the managers of this very trading floor that you see us sitting on right here. That's for about 4 weeks. Get a certificate at the end of it. Then you have a chance to go live, trade real money, potentially earn real money if you're profitable. Still get your one-on-one coaching, learn more about the markets, do this for about 6 weeks. We're talking 8 minimum, but 16 hours a week of trading, and it's free. So if you have a passion for trading, be willing to do it the right way, which is enter a program where you have goals, where you learn the basics, and you move step by step. So the campus trading program, if it's for you, as I said, scan that QR code below. You can check out realtrading.com/campus. It's a good one. Get your applications in. They are accepting them as they speak. It is for people in Canada, but hey, if you want to expand it, then just keep hollering and saying, hey, we would like this to be in X country or that country. It's just not in the US as of now. So get in there. I think it's a great program.
Now it's up to Elon here. Am I training my kids on a roller coaster to be a future star trader? No. I've directed my kids well away from this business, but I feel like you have to have a stomach for some trades. We just tried to get short here at 67 right here. Honestly, I put an offer right there. It didn't fill us. Once we saw this happening for about 5 to 10 minutes, I tried to offer into here. Did not come through at all. So we'll wait to see 68, 67 or so right now coming into play there for the TQs. So if we can short into there just as a starter, we'll do that. But for right now, no, we don't have any fills yet to go short or to go more short. All of us Americans cry about that. Yeah, like Neil kept saying, you know, there could be something. So just keep,
You know, they're always working on things.
you know, keep your head up for sure.
Tupac.
Protect your neck. All right, and now drive home. Oh, my wife says she's not sure if there's a look of joy or sadness on their faces, but their faces are definitely turning green. So I think that they are getting ready to get out of there right now. We also have a baseball practice tonight as well. So like
Practice?
It's nonstop, man. My kids are nonstop. Yeah, last practice before we take on the Monarchs. We wound up the season 13 and a half wins because we tied one. So 13, 6 and 1. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, the tie was a tie.
Well, what can
I wasn't
you
even
do?
there with that game that we tied, but what can you do?
There's no extra innings in.
Well, you get the half. No, you get the half. Well, there is extra innings, but you have.
No, but not. Do you do regular season extra innings or just one? Like you get one extra inning.
I don't know. Actually, we've never. Yeah, I'm not actually sure about that. I'm pretty sure we would do it, but right after us is another game. So they put the lights on and they got to go. So. All right, crossing over the moving average right now is AMD as well. We may get that fill up there on the TQs. It looks like we're starting to head down, so that's all good if that does wind up happening. Oh, AMD, okay, so again, we get the trigger there that we just touched out on the 200 period moving average, so that is correct. But I'm looking the other way, AMD, not long, but this might be it. I mean, it just bottomed out when we went on the air. 2 o'clock, 149. And remember, this is just a secondary play. Like when Nvidia blows out the water, or the other way around, AMD is going to have a move.
Go either way.
So, you know, it's going to go either way at this point. I know Neil's already or still in or no, out. Now on Micron.
I'm out of Micron.
All right, so Micron does get...
It's not moving much.
Nothing's really moving that much. That's what I was trying to do. We could check back in on Meta. You guys already asked about Redfin. Neil already covered that. I think that was good. Meta, ooh, you guys were pretty right about that one with Meta. Someone is yelling about Meta. And I was like, it's not there yet. 521.50. That was about $1. So good on you guys. For doing that one, we tweeted out last week, and again, I'll tweet this out. We're getting out of more Roblox right now as well at $43, $44 on our swing account. Remember, we're only holding Roblox all summer, and checks watch, kids back to school. Time to get out of Roblox.
Yeah, so that's like 1 week.
People are already in the States. They're already back to school. So. There we go. XLE. You guys know we talked about buying this last week, and we did that. We had Raider Trader on Thursday, and we had bought it the day or two before then. So I just have to go back and find out where. But that was a good opportunity. I'm going to find out because it's different if you bought it here than if you bought it there. But still, a nice move up. I really like energy moving forward. You had a nice move also in XOM over the last couple of days, back up to the upside, I believe.
It's really doing well compared to CVX.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 114 and breaking higher.
If you pull up a chart of XOM versus Chevron,
this is just
and I only know this because I own Chevron shares, but XOM has really been outperforming it. Now, you've been getting bounces on both. One just been distinctly better than the other. Like CVX, 141 support, but it's go to Sean Start for a second because you have it up.
Down there.
No, I've been, 141 has been the buy zone for me on that stock. So I've been buying it at that price, but I did not buy the last dip on it. When it got down there, I was like, okay, well, do I want to buy XLE, Oxy, or that? And Oxy was at the 55. So I went with that Oxy because Oxy was at that price. You know, that price where it's been a good trade. But like, I get out of Oxy when it gets to like the mid 60s. Like, it's always just like a get in, get out thing. Just quickly, two things. One, Amazon VWAP. It's really just a 25 cent range in here. When we say things aren't moving right now a lot, this is what I mean. 25 cent range, and this is since 15 to 20 minutes ago, actually 18 minutes ago, so 6 candles. 18 minutes ago, not really doing much of anything. Redfin did not make the break of the high, so we had the dip buy. It got to the high and didn't break it. So there's the failure to break the high of the day, and then it lost the consolidation level. So that when the play was to have it to the break, it never broke.
Come on, Andy.
So if it trades, I suppose if it trades in an 8 to 9 cent range, that's a scalpable trade. But I was looking for the long to break out the high because I thought it had some explosion the way that it's moving, right? Like I wasn't looking to make a 7 cent trade in Redfin or 8 cent trade in Redfin. So even if I'm risking 4 or 5, the goal was to get more out of it. So Amazon set up for a short. Micron absolutely did not. Unfortunately, wish I had something else that I wanted to short there. There was Amazon at VWAP. There was Micron. If it got anywhere near, it's not doing anything. Even since I trailed it out, this thing is just not moving. There's got to be something else. AMD.
I mean, I don't know.
AMD's like $1.50 from VWAP here. Yeah, that's not even close. What's Nvidia doing? Maybe Nvidia's not moving either. So, okay, we're in one thing. And I'm not seeing a heck of a lot of other movement, but I think we're at resistance and trying to roll over here. So looking for shorts, I believe, was the right call. Just, kind of wish we found more than the one. This is the one that was sitting at VWAP or gave you the trade to VWAP. It doesn't matter. You could probably take a lot of other things. Just not finding much of anything else. Sean James, Chevron does pay a nice dividend, but they all pay good dividends. XOM pays. That's the thing. Like, don't always just care about dividend. Like, imagine if two stocks in the same sector, one does, let's just imagine one pays 2.8% and the other one pays 3.1. I'm just making numbers up. Well, if the one that pays 2.8 consistently performs better in terms of actual return on the value of the stock that you own, like, which one do you want to be in? It's not always about the dividend. Believe me, when you own energy, you like the dividend, and that's certainly a part of it. But I still want to be in the better performing name because you're going to get a dividend either way on those energy stocks. Let's go to Adara at the desk.
Benzinga Pro. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today.
I don't really hold that much. Okay, I'm in a new position right now. We're just hitting that because it's a new position. I mean, I just started setting under my breath. I don't know if this market wants to go down anymore, to be honest with you. I wonder if it's a little exhausted. Maybe that's just me. So right there, that's the break of 50s. We'll give it like 25 or 30 more cents. I mean, this spread opens up 10, 15 cents anyways. So we just take another short right here. It's not a big position. It's a position. We're just going to wait to see if it does want to give it up. I mean, Nvidia is heading towards that 127 area again. So that could be something here. Our stop on this is 75s. Sorry, on Microsoft. Let me just go back to it. Just want to show everybody Nvidia just bounced off 127 again. So my stop on this is 75s. So if we can break above, I don't even want to try to get into VWAP because that's too far. I don't want to take like a 60-cent hit here if I'm already sort of like thinking that the market might want to get to VWAP. I'd much rather wait for that than to battle with Microsoft here. But Microsoft is kind of like the market, and I like the setup. So let's see if it gets going. So we can get out for flat right now if you don't like it. We're short at 413.34s right here. So let's go and see if we can make something happen here with Softy. And I'm now bidding for, like, well, I mean, I guess I can bid 413, but I was over here at the 50-period moving average. So we'll give that a shot right now on Microsoft and see if it does anything. So that's what I'm trying to deal with here. Microsoft into the short with targets down near 413-ish, giving us a sort of a 1-to-1 here.
Looky, see battles up here, noting that Disney, of all things, is breaking out the high of the day.
Ooh, yeah.
And that makes me happy as a recent buyer of Disney after, remember this fun line in the chart, like this 88 level? I'm like, hey, if Disney can hold there the end of the week, I'm going to finally get back into this sucker. Well, there's a tiny breakout on the daily, but with the market's at the lows and the stock is breaking out the highs, I'm generally going to like it. So trying to figure out what the trade might be here because it's underneath that 92 level. It's not moving a ton. Certainly, like buying a dip would make some sense, but if you already spotted this, you would have bought this dip in here in the previous highs. Look for a consolidation off top, maybe for an entry. We still have an hour to go, so there's plenty of time for like a late day run in Disney. I like the general take here. It's been stair step up, but the play pretty much all day has been to buy dips into a trend. I don't think taking breakouts is going to be the way to go. It's not moving explosively. Loose trend, maybe it puts another trend up here that you can get yourself into, but that's a good look. It's definitely flying around here. Upstart wow, Upstart's really going. What's the deal with Upstart? Why is Upstart moving like this? I thought I checked.
Is it going up?
It is going up.
So that's.
I mean, it's continuing.
Rates play.
Yeah, I mean, it's been rallying A since earnings, B since the rates have gone up. But the 40, well, it's not have gone up, but the odds of the rate cut have been going up, and it broke that 40 level. Hasn't really gotten to that 50 resistance, but this seems like it's a good runner because of the short float. I don't know if it's worth a chase this afternoon. It's a very thin book right up here. There's nothing. Like, it's at 83. There's no real bids down to like about 70s on the book. So I'm not going to chase that move. No news on it, but certainly short float, rates going where they are. Ideally, we're going to get at least one cut in September, and a lot of people think we're getting at some point, maybe even a 50 basis point cut or at least 2 more cuts for the rest of the year. So you could have 3 cuts, essentially, like 75 basis points. That's good for guys like that.
Apple coming back up. All right, so we did get just a small piece. We said we were waiting at 67, so just to double check, that is what we got. So it went back into the money, like down into 55s or so, but I'm going to wait for this kind of a pullback. We are still going to try to see if it goes back up to the TQQs. I was saying this about the afternoon as we enter into Power Hour. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you join our community right now. But again, I sort of went on that little talk there, and I was like, if you don't see anything, you don't have to take anything. And right now, there goes Nvidia through 127. I think that's like this trade. I mean, we written down 127 before and how much we like that. So we had defended it a bunch of times here before eventually losing it, which was a great idea to punch out. We have reloaded short, by the way, on stocks like this on Nvidia before. I'm surprised we didn't do it there. But anyways, coming back in, I actually still like the short. Like we're underneath VWAP and I want to stay true to who I am. And that would be a short in that area. So that would be something to look at. But I also don't want to get away from some of the stocks that we're already trading. So we're short the NASDAQ, which is good. And I'd like to put on more if it gets up there. So that's something that makes me a little bit happier. Uber, like I'm just happier.
Did you see Uber this morning?
No, but that's what I was saying. It just showed up right now, dude. 72.
Oh, they got
What happened? I thought this thing was at 74, 75.
You know what it did? It just look. You have the daily up. It gets to 74 and dumps like every single time. It's like,
right, yeah, same right.
So yeah, there's a V-shaped recovery. But you know what though?
Features.
That breakout, this breaks out 75. That's going to be a fun long to be had. But again, that's the thing. The good thing about a breakout is you don't have to be in it unless it happens. Because if you tried loading into that long in anticipation of it, another fail.
Long Tesla, says J.
Isn't Tesla's 3% down under VWAP? I'm looking for something above VWAP for longs. But I don't like Disney's strong, but it's at the high. I don't want to punch long the high if I think the market could roll from resistance. Like this is sort of like the setup that I'd be looking for if I'm trying to play a long on a breakthrough is something with a good support level. So if we roll over from here, I got an easy out. If you take something that's trying to break out the top, it's a little bit trickier to structure the trade. Shorting anything that's weak in front of these highs in the futures, I like that look. That's what we're doing. Looking for something strong that we can find. And Chris L, what do I think of Uber? I mean, sort of, like first of all, I own Uber shares in my long-term account. When they got added to the S&P, I didn't get out of everything. I still hold shares of Uber, and I don't really plan on selling them. I don't have a plan to sell them. But as a trade, when I see this, it's like it's a reverse of what I thought about Meta. When it breaks, if it breaks the top, I shouldn't say when. If it breaks the top, I want to be long that day. Like look at the resistance on this thing at 75. It takes out the top. I just want to have a long trade that day. And if it loses, it loses. So be it. Certainly, you can usually short levels like this. I just tend to find that when it coils up after a big V shape, that you want the other direction. That's why we like Meta. I promise you, we weren't the only people looking at Meta for a flat bottom break. And there's nothing against Meta. But Meta consolidated off the top, didn't break the top, then put the flat bottom in. And that was a flat bottom break at 523. Too bad that's not a real wick. 465 would have been a nice price to be able to get. But yeah, I think Uber, if we end up getting a break of that 75, it looks good. Unfortunately, it did not make that break today. Maybe the 50 period on the way back, if we end up trending down a couple of days, that could be a little interesting. You got the 50 and the 200 period for potential support there on Uber.
A good little or good potential bottom here would be Palantir. I mean, it's another name that we haven't really. Okay, we just got a little. The futures aren't doing anything since I've been in this position. Hopefully, we do get a move down in right now immediately. Hopefully, for this we are short in Microsoft at 40s. It's at 50s. Yeah, Palantir. So just a double bottomed or triple bottomed right there, and we just hit it again. So it's frustrating. Like I need to figure out a scan where every time we come back into the bottom of the day, we can find out about that. Problem is that when the market's tanking, everything is triggering it. But we had this exact setup on Nvidia on Friday.
You know what I'd want the scan to do?
Like, right? Like there's the double touch again.
If low of the day is between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, and then a retest after 10 o'clock of that low of the day. Like that's the scan that I would want. I guarantee you, look, you could pop into the API and P Pro 8 and have one of these one of these boys, one of the guys do it for
my
sure.
Kid,
no question.
Baxter. I don't know about any of these guys, but my kid could do that really quick. All right, so just real quick, there's Nvidia pulling off of that 127. We'll figure out about that one. We just barely, we didn't get full fill at all. We got honestly 5% of our fill up there. We got touched out at 78s right there, but it didn't change our price, which is really too bad, because if it had changed our price, if we had gotten our full trade there, it'd be much nicer, but we just get touched a little bit and then it comes back in. So we're waiting for more up there. Microsoft is still in the pocket again. We did like that Amazon trade, so we didn't take it, but Neil did, so that's good. JP Morgan again, just hitting on the scanners. What about DraftKings? I mean, I'm just trying to think of some names.
Football season.
Oh, wait a second. We talked about Palantir before. All right, here come the futures. Oh man, that is way too bad that we missed that fill all the way at the top there. We literally got no shares on that, just slightly touched. All right, so yeah, that bottom I think is looking pretty good. I think that could be a long, $30.80. I mean, that's only 20 cents away right there. We're not going to be breaking the top. Oh, we could. It's only 305. I'm biased to the short side, so when I'm looking, oh, come on. When I am looking for something, the short is what I'm looking for. Oh man. All right, well, I'm already bidding here. So
I bet
I'm already
you $1 Palantir is not breaking that top today.
No, I don't. I mean, the market has to go. If the market goes, I mean, I think Palantir could be really super strong. Where is the top? Oh, all the way up here? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these.
Oh, you didn't mean the high of the day.
Oh, like this VWAP here. Or maybe
no, I was going to say, there's no way.
This top right there, 31.26.
Oh, that could happen, yeah.
Yeah, I think it could happen. Oh, man, we're talking about being on the wrong gateway there. It was on the most expensive gateway. I was on ARCA. And because generally speaking, it doesn't really matter on TQQs, but we did miss it there. So that's too bad. All right. It'll be a quick market recap show today. It'll be over at 4:30 as we got to get ready. We were talking about that going.
The game got Mr. Nos in tow. Mr. Nos well, I ask him about that Dutch Brothers.
Bros,
because he was.
Was he long or shorted? I don't know.
Well, see, this is sort of the thing. Like when you're swing trading, I know he was discussing along whether or not he would have gotten into it. I'm going to presume it was more if it broke out. But this is one of those stocks that since getting dumped on earnings, it's put in a couple of higher lows. And we talk about like that settle down period after earnings. This is what it can yield. Now, if you just wait for the stock to calm down, about, what is it, like 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and then it makes a double bottom. And then after that, you get a breakout into a new range. Like that close price turns into support, and it's trying to take out that second level at 33. So Dutch Brothers with a decent enough short float, because I feel like every time, if there's a stock with a downward slope and he's looking long, it has a short float on it. This one a 9% short float, and apparently their coffee is good. So people have told me. Never had them. Not really moving much today, but I know he mentioned it, and I was just curious if you got in that or maybe took profit. I have no idea, but I had meant to ask this morning, but I did not. I'm on the bid here at 40s or in front of 40s on Amazon. You're just slowly grinding lower here every 20 to 25 pennies. Not a gigantic range on the day. In the afternoon for the stock, but we're just trying to see if we can get something out in the front of the 40s. If it gets down to 175, that's sort of an obvious spot where you could find support. Round number, 175, a couple of bucks from where it closed. Just come on, fill the bid. Tom H, PDD may go back down to 87. Not today. It was just at $100 2 seconds ago when I looked at it, but yeah, it's not having a good day. When you're down over 30%, and you're not a small company, that's not good. So let's get to the downside here for both the markets, Microsoft and Amazon here, as that's pretty much all we're short. Pinduoduo having a rough one. 87, you must mean on the daily chart. What's going on with, what is Pinduo doing right now? What is that? It is just barcoding. I guess it's a Chinese ADR in the afternoon, but this is 100 even on the offer that will not break. It broke one time here, and then for the last 50 minutes, it's been essentially just 100 on the offer. It is SSR. That could be the reason it's found a resistance level but can't go down because it's short sell restricted. But clearly somebody's selling I see what it is. There's 50,000 shares on the offer at 100, but that shouldn't do anything. It's done 90 million shares today. Yeah, maybe it's a refresher.
I mean, I think you already nailed it when you talked about these Chinese ADRs not doing a whole heck of a lot here.
Well, they're filling this offer right now, so clearly someone's getting their fill.
Bang. I mean, Microsoft just came down in. We take that fill right there at the 200 period. That's a good one. We talked about this position. Again, I mean, there's another one right here coming in for the TQQs. Another position that we sat here and watched make some magic happen. And that's exactly what wound up happening. As it's coming back in just a little bit, let's put a bid now at 46 or so. That was that little bottom ahead of the 200 period. I mean, boom, boom. It's too bad, man. We got like a very small amount of what we wanted. And that sometimes will happen. Sometimes we just miss a fill or whatever. That time we missed it. Sometimes we just catch them. This time we miss it. So just a little bit of a fill up there, or else we would be almost in near a full position. We talked about trying to get it up near VWAP. That 78, I mean, I was just sort of getting, let's take some here. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We don't have it full, but we have it. So nice little move down on that one. Let's see if that can go. We are bidding 46s where that little wick down was and where we stopped. Actually, that was 44s. So we can see if we get one more push into that bottom side. Look, we'll take 23 pennies. That'd be great. And then after that, back into here. What about 68? How's that sound? It sounds pretty good to me. If we can get Microsoft as well back in, that'd be nice. Just trying to go 1-to-1 on this first little take there, and then we'll see what happens after that. So, yeah, so far so good. CrowdStrike, come on, Microsoft, come on down. Did we get that fill yet? No, we didn't. TQs. Hopefully it'll come in just one more minute. I want to talk about CrowdStrike. This is going to be a name that reports later on this week as well on Wednesday with Nvidia. This could get swept under the rug a little bit because of Nvidia, but I don't think so.
I don't think it will.
What a nice move on CrowdStrike. Again, we talked about JP Morgan up a lot of the last couple of days, and so is CrowdStrike. Now, though, the last couple of days, not necessarily up, but trying to come back in again here. No, it did not get filled on anything. Thought I did not. All right, so we'll have to just continue to wait to see if anything does happen in this market, man. Microsoft's still bouncing. And again, not looking overly strong. Here is Microsoft. So let's just wait and see if it does want to fall down. We have our stop at 413.75. So if that fills, that fills. But for right now, I'm pretty happy being in what we're in. We should be able to get this TQQ fill and then reload it if not. So we'll stay net short and not try to confuse things very much. It's 311. There are any other names you guys want to talk about? I mean,
I just found
PDD we just talked about.
Yeah, PDD. There was a seller for about 55,000 shares at 100. They started getting it filled and then went to like over 60,000. So it's actually refreshing that order. I just found something that might not be a today thing, but could be a this week sort of thing. It just happens to be Macy's. Like I was double checking a couple of scanners and I came across this like $16. It's really interesting for a double top break. Maybe not today, but certainly when retailers find a bottom. So it's like make the bottom after a report, make the higher low, break out the top. That's a setup I like after earnings, and that's a setup that looks like it's here on Macy's. It's only at 1588, so it's in theory possible that it could break that today, but there's no catalyst for it to do it today, unfortunately. So that one goes on the back burner, maybe a tomorrow thing, maybe a later this week kind of idea whenever it does. Okay, so here's a bit of a bounce since I last out in Amazon. If we get back into VWAP, look for a reload off VWAP on Amazon. I'm just going to double check AMD. Damn, AMD doesn't really want to go up that much. Kind of hoping you get at least 151 change.
Amazon
this
came back
is
up?
really tight. It's starting to. It's about 20 cents from my entry. Okay. So it came halfway back. So it's halfway back into VWAP. If it gets a little bit further, I would like to be short that one again if we can reload it. It's still plenty of time to go here. Double check this PDD. It might just, it's very tempting to try to scalp PDD. Just sit on the offer at 98s and 99s, throw a stop in case it breaks 100. But as I look up, I just pulled it back up, and that size that was there at 100 is gone now. Like it was there the whole time and refreshing. It's no longer there anymore. So I probably wouldn't put that trade on. If you're doing it in front of the size, then I want that order to be there. And then you just scalp. If it goes to 80s, you take 15 cents. If it breaks, hopefully only lose 1 or 2 pennies. But that order is gone from 100, so I wouldn't be doing it. Well, I wouldn't be doing it.
So I thought we had some sort of excitement there, and then we didn't really wind up having anything. As the market hit the 50-period moving average, there's Microsoft, hits the 50-period moving average, and then just comes right back. So we took advantage of that. We have a 26 and an amazing 27 outs right here because why? You're just at the 200 period. So we're kind of just erasing that take right here, averaged it in, which is good. I mean, averaging in is a tool that can be very, very useful if it works out. If it doesn't, then you're adding to losing positions, which is why every time you average in, you should be thinking about, has my stop changed? What are some of the levels that I'm still looking at? So for me, for Microsoft, my stop's already in there, and it's at the quarters, not much changing. I mean, I'm almost getting more aggressive to getting out right now because I don't feel like this market really wants to do anything. We are down 1%. As long as we're under VWAP, we like it. So that could be working in our favor. Okay, now we're starting to hopefully hit the sirens and get down. I want to see this break of the 50 period on the market, right? The TQs, we're still in that position here as well. As we look a little bit at what we're doing here with the NASDAQ, trying to get some out if that one wants to drop. Be patient. I mean, I know we always say that almost too much, but that's what you have to be sometimes. Let the market fall in and don't force anything from happening right now. So that's what we're going to do. It's Microsoft right now coming back in. All right, give me the teens. You know what? Let's just bid something at O's here just in case we do get that move back in. I'm not bidding anything at O's. My next bid after this was in the 70s, 412.70. And the reason why we're looking at that level again, I just kind of do the same thing over and over again. This is sort of that drop spot right there. So I feel like the next area to do something would be around these 80 or 70 markers. So that's kind of where we're talking about. So if it does come in, we'll be sitting there. But let's take another piece out in front of O's because, hey, after all, we could easily bounce off the 50 period one more time. So that's why I asked you about Amazon. I was like, if that's coming all the way, and you said it was still 20 cents, but these stocks aren't doing anything. So we'll have to wait to see if we can get some sort of blood from a stone here. Hopefully this market will fall in just a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And while we're waiting for like either a reload spot or maybe another break into the downside, I see a few names getting thrown in there. Herb saying cost is ready, and Harman asking about Instacart. So I'll start with Instacart first because I kind of have an idea what I'm going to say about Costco. Instacart. So there has been some interest with regards to Instacart and like partnerships and yada yada yada. And it is a good-looking chart in most senses. Hold a 200-period moving average back above the 50. I just feel like today, when I did that lesson of the day on not false breakouts, but rejections of breakouts and pulls back in on the daily chart, that's kind of what's happening after about 5 or 6 sessions in a row to the upside. Like you had the strong move, it broke 37, now it's coming back in. The good news, it's going to close green, at least barring something crazy. But I always get a little bit wary when you have a stock that does this and then rejects that high. Like look what happened when it got in here, tried to break the highs, you get a big reversal. Sometimes you get these breaks of key levels, and when they fail to move, you get retraces back into support. And that could be all the way down in here on Instacart. Costco, obviously very different names between those two. We'll get to that in a quick little second. You got a little something going on?
Oh, it's just like... Finally, no, it's not. I mean, it's the same thing as always. I mean, you have your Amazon trades going to the downside as well, but Microsoft, finally, there it is, right there. A couple of diamond hands, I guess, 450 cents in the money. Well, now we're 51 cents in the money. That's the TQ. So now we're starting to crash down. I shouldn't use the word crash. I don't think we're really crashing, but we are starting to go back. Falling is a good word. Yeah, we're starting to fall back into the downside. So let's just have a quick look at what's happening right now in this market. All right, Microsoft coming back in. Nice trade there as we make sure. Just hitting some keys, make sure we have some orders out there as well to fight that downside push. We're waiting at 70s. Remember, we talked about that play? So if we can get some 70s love, we'll take that right now on this name. So nice push down in for Microsoft. It's coming back in 55 cents now in the money on that name, and the TQs trying to go as well. So far, so good on this front, but it's the NASDAQ making that move back down in, and there it goes. A couple good trades there off the NASDAQ and off of Microsoft. So we just took some out at O's. I think it was 03s or so on that little push right there. So now we'll wait for a nice little downside move into 70s. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at here. Yeah, hopefully we do get a downside move. So that's what I'm thinking about. The market's down 1%. Still a lot of time left in the day. I feel like if we just drift, we're out of half of this already. Getting a little frustrated with the move that's not actually happening, so hopefully it will. We are at the highest spot we've been at all day, obviously, as we hold on to 2 shorts. So, you know, we'll just wait on it and see what winds up happening. We're being very, very patient. Like our stops are already in place. So that was that. Then we have trip.com is coming through with a report. So that could be something that's TCOM. We'll look at that tonight. The other one is, this is the only real big one. I have it right here. Unless there is another one. Riot. No, I mean, I'm just looking through them right here off Market Chameleon. So PDD, we already had this morning, and then the only other one is 27 billion is going to come from TCOM, and then maybe tomorrow morning before market open is a bunch of Canadian banks, Nova Scotia, Bank of Montreal, coming out tomorrow morning as well, and then after market close tomorrow, come more retail, Nordstrom's, Box. That's really about it. There's not too many more names to go, but yeah, we'll wait for trip.com to see what happens tonight.
Yeah, it's a quiet one. Obviously, the earnings play today, unless you were short, Not a good one for PDD. There's a Chinese company reporting aftermarket. It's a small one, but possibly interesting given the bloodbath that was today.
Okay.
That's all. I'll leave it at that because this is a $1 stock, and the expected move was like 30% on. I'm not going to try. Would you Tuya?
Yeah, Tuya.
Tuya? Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? It's Tuya, and only because of what happened on PDD today, and the fact that it could be one of those lower float, smaller runners tomorrow. Worth a look. It's like, you slap it on a watch list if it makes a move, and if you find yourself in a trade, it's likely to be a little more volatile with the earnings. So still nothing really changing. I haven't been able to get VWAP in here or a push outside of the range. It's still, you got 80s up top, 80 to 85 up top, and you got 40s at the bottom. So it's still a 40 penny range. It goes halfway, it goes all the way, and it hasn't come all the way back in the upside. That's a good thing. Know-how RSP. Always in Canada, invest in your RSP regularly. I know that's retirement savings plan. No, yeah. RSP, the stock on the Amex here. Man, this is really breaking out. I feel like, didn't we talk about the equal weight this morning?
Maybe.
Was Michael Noss talking about the equal weight? I think he was. I could be wrong about that, but I never dabble in this at all. Like my long-term investments are in individual stocks, a few ETFs, and if I make a bet in the market, it's just in the SPY or the Qs, and I then the Dow once or twice. Remember, it was what was the beginning of the year? It was in January, or you guys were on the pod.
Yeah, we talked about switching over into the Dow Jones.
Yeah, and I remember it was interesting because I was actually listening to the pod with you and Brennan, and I came to like a schedule every month I buy, just put X amount of dollars into the Q or the SPY, and the other stuff goes into individual names. And I was like, I don't want to buy the market at these levels. And I was like, oh, the Dow actually looks like a better spot to throw something in there.
Exactly.
So I put that money into the Dow, and I still have it. I'll probably never sell it, but yeah, I'd never really dabbled in the RSP. Sometimes when that starts to break out, people like the breadth in the market when you have the equal weight going. So I think that's maybe a bullish sign, but this also could be a topping tail candle through 175. There's a lot of ways to look at it, right? Like it could just be, oh, there's the break, and it's coming back underneath Friday's tops, and you could have just had a topping tail candle at a fresh high on the RSP. I guess when you're bearish coming into the day, I see all of these. Every time there's been a top break today, all I see is reversals. And that's what happens if you have a little bit of a bias to the downside. But topping tail, there's a false break, and now you're trending down the rest of the day. That wouldn't be a good thing if it does not hold. What else we got going? PDD is actually breaking down. So kudos to anybody that shorted that 100 level with the seller that was there. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not moving much. But were you to just simply scalp trade this, you could have sat at 99.98, 99.99, or 97s. You would have gotten fills, and you've got yourself 30 cents worth of a win. That's presuming you're getting out when 100 breaks. That's the kind of trade for a day trader. Probably should have been worth putting it on there. At the time, I saw the size that was there go away. That's why I didn't want to be on the offer, because the size I saw the whole time. Apparently, it was going back and forth. They were putting it and then pulling it and putting it and pulling it. All I saw was it there, and then 1 minute it was gone after it had been filled a bit. So I didn't put the trade on. Good trade. Risk to reward is fine. There's currently 180,000 shares on the bid at 64. Those people are playing games with this stock, with size. 180,000 shares when most levels have a couple hundred. Yeah, someone's messing around with this.
All right, we will have Michael Noss on tonight, so I'll be able to ask him about
I think he mentioned
We'll find out exactly what he's all about with that one as well. So again, Microsoft up and down. We talked about this. I mean, I don't know if this market is going to do anything. I actually was thinking about that, a Disney break. We had someone ask us about that earlier. And I was thinking that break up there could have been something, like the market turned the other way, but I don't think there's anything wrong with taking breaks of stronger names. So I think that was a good idea. And the reason why I'm bringing it up now is that if you liked it then, how about now as it's coming back into VWAP? So I just want to bring that to your attention. If you were looking at something, I feel like you might as well have a look at this now, as it is pulling right back into VWAP again, 91.40, 91.50 there for Disney. So that could be a good long area if you're looking for longs. I'm net short here and looking to get more short if we can. So including on Microsoft into the 40s and 50s, we'll do that. And then the market just gave us some nice little bids down there as we talked about getting that 46 fill rate there. So that was a good one. Hopefully the market does pull back in. Just checking in on Meta. I do want to check in on Tesla as well. Meta, that 523 continues to be the top. Hopefully we can see that again and short it, but then the market would have blown up and we don't want that. So hopefully we don't see that again. Tesla right now, 213, so yuck. This one's down quite a bit here. Yeah, you can't be super happy with Tesla today, but it is a downside push. And I would say short this one at 214 as well.
Traders can be happy.
Underneath the up. Yeah, oh yeah, depending on which way you're going or whatever way. You could be long and still make money. We talk about that all the time here. So, okay, that's about it for me right now. A-Lab, feeling like a joker. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are trading
here. What does that
mean?
I
don't know, but here we go. Maybe the smiley face thing. I don't know. But here comes Microsoft back in again. Let's see if it goes. I'm debating just bidding some 90s right now, but I want to be right. Let's see if we can get into the 70s here on Microsoft. So that'll be a trade for me. Maybe we'll put it into the 80s, but a little bit of a whoosh down. I wouldn't mind grabbing. That's 8. Yeah, let's go to 80. Let's go to like 82 or 83 on Softy and see if we get a fill. I'm going to put a bid there.
Yeah, why not?
Never know.
I mean, you know what? You don't get fills unless you put orders out there. It doesn't mean, like, whether it comes to your price or not. Like I said, you got to put the orders out there. So probably should have stuck with Micron short. It just, I don't know. I said I'd be patient. I was looking for a VWAP or 100. It just never got there. But suddenly you have a consolidation off 99. So let me just cancel. I had a stop order at 100 that I have no use for, obviously, at this point. So 99, it just made a double bottom locally, and now this 99 level is holding as resistance. A couple of times it's been over. We're getting very close till 3:30. Like we have 4 minutes to go. We're going to get an early look on some of the imbalances. I'd like to see a test and a hold of 99, maybe throw a stop in here at 99.05. Just looking for entries at levels where I can join a trend. So I want to short a weak stock. I couldn't find a thing that I like long. Let's be real. So join a weak stock and then have a defined out. So just underneath 99 with a stop just above it is going to make some sense to me. So I'm going to pop on the offer here. And it's like literally I put the offer and get insta-filled. Oh, you never want to get insta-filled. No. Oh, boy. What's interesting about that, okay, where's it going to go if it breaks? If it breaks this 05, it's going to 40s or VWAP. You never want to throw an offer 5 cents away from where the stock is trading. Like it's here, offer insta-filled. Like insta-filled. The second new orders come in, someone's like ready to pop it up. So as I said, it's going to be a very tight stop regardless. It's about 10 cents worth of risk, but you don't usually want to get fills like that in a general sense. Oh, there's something happened on PDD. So first bid's going to be at 80s. We'll see if it goes to the low of the day. The stop is at 99.05. Something happened on PDD. Let me just make sure I have this right because it prints. I want to make sure we get out. There we go. I never want to see that. In a general sense, and you've been trading, like if the stock is trading around a range and you put an offer that's away from the price, generally speaking, you don't want buyers to come into the market when they see an offer. That's not a good sign. It just means they're waiting for people to be on that offer. Might have just run the stops, but I'm going to stay away from that for a little bit of a minute, just the way that acted. On Pinduoduo, I forgot to say that this happened. Remember I said there was 180,000 shares on the bid, messing around at 60? They filled the entire lot, broke down by about 10 cents, and then someone marketed it back to 100. So someone is playing games on Pinduoduo right now. They posted a huge bid, waited till they got filled, and it looked like it was going to break down, and then bought just as many shares on the way up to take it back into 100. So suffice to say, I am not sitting on the offer at 100 because someone's messing around. Maybe they're buying this one up going into the afternoon. You can speculate as to who that might be. I think we all have an idea who it might be.
All right, just making sure here. It's already 3:30. We have those imbalances coming out, and we got to make sure that we're going to do things the correct way here into the close. So here comes the futures. I'm thinking about holding the rescues. I don't have any more bids. It's too bad that we didn't get that full trade up there, but hopefully that will come in just a couple seconds. So we'll see if we can get that one. Oxy, Microsoft, Disney, Starbucks. Let's have a quick look at Starbucks again. If there's anything else hitting. Oh, we didn't look at Trip.com. Let me look at Trip.com a little bit here. So, all right, so nice little downside move. They are coming out with the report later on today. The expected move for TCOM is, wow, 10%. Okay.
That's all right.
So, I think weaker consumer, man. I don't know. We'll have to wait. If it's a weaker consumer and TCOM is in that consumer discretionary spot, I am thinking this is probably a downside move. So I don't really like the way it's performing. However, it's better to be buying it into some strength than some weakness. And right now, what are we at? So we're up today, still under the 200 period. Right now, Trip.com, a nice move back in as some of the consumer worries continue to hit there. You could look at MasterCard or Visa to see like sort of what's been going on. A lot of people put trips on their Visa card, of course.
Boom,
So
get those points.
Yeah, exactly, get those points. So you can see, let's just see. So yeah, downside as well for Visa. AXP, again, we can have a quick look. Just checking in on some of the breadth here.
Just buy Kava.
Yeah, and everyone spends, AXP is going to the upside, actually. People spend money on food, that is for sure. MA, let's just have a quick look at MasterCard. I'm pretty sure American Express kind of stands out on its own as we go. Oh, no, MasterCard too. So it's really just Visa that's been having the issue. So
well, Sharif in that black card is
okay.
I mean,
yeah, Sharif, eh?
Sharif rolls that black. He whips out the black card every now and then.
Is that what he does?
He's that Amex guy. Though Kava, that's like this thing. Why was I? Okay, so I'm slapping the fail.
Here we go.
If a stock makes a monster earnings move, you got to at least look at it in the following days. At least pull it up. Pull it up. You don't have to trade it, but you pull it up. Because if you pulled it up this morning, there's no way that didn't look at least remotely spicy for a long breakout. Like there's your consolidation. It bounces, pulls back, bounces. It's a clean break through 123. It's a pretty clean break through 124. And it trends up to 128. The stock apparently only goes up. So I've been told. Can't lose. Let's go over to Adara, see what's going on and anything that we haven't covered.
Take a look at some of these names making some outsized moves on the S&P 500 that maybe we haven't talked about as much, or that have a little bit of catalyst maybe we haven't gone over in a while. One of them is going to be Micron. Definitely mentioned Micron today, but just a reminder here, this one is trading lower after getting this price target decrease from 150 to 140 by Needham, saying that they're concerned about the lower than expected forecast here for DRAM and NAND heading into the November quarter. So some forecast concerns for MU leading Needham to downgrade this name or lower the price target for that name. We also have Uber on watch here, UBER. We did have a midday catalyst for this one, announcing the strategic partnership with Coco Sidewalk Robots and Uber Eats. However, this one actually initially started trading lower here after the Dutch regulator gave a 324 million USD fine, so around 290 euro fine here for Uber with regards to the dissemination of some of its driver information. So UBER sharply to the downside. Last but not least, Jack Henry and Associates, not one that we talk a lot about here. JKHY, this one's steadily higher here, announcing a regular quarterly dividend of 55 cents per share for JKHY. Quite a few interesting names on this list, guys.
Yes, sir. I mean, that Uber move is what it is. I think it's a technical rejection. You have bad news that just fuel to the fire. This ASST, Scott Edwards, it is moving. I'm telling you, this is a setup at least worth watching sometimes. And it's not a random. At the open, the stock halted at $1.68, ran to 2, but ended up pulling right back into 155. It then holds 160. When it looks like it's dead, it never broke the double top. I think we were looking for a breakout at one point. I might have had a stop order for a breakout, if memory serves, this morning that just never went. And then 160, 160. It's trying to get through VWAP. Never discount these things for potential day 2 plays. But the reason the break looks good of that local high is it's a reverse split high is up here just underneath the 250 level. So that would be a big level if it can even get through it. So it's 330. I saw nothing of note on the early looks for the imbalances unless you're really into CNQ or SU. Both of those are sell imbalances on the early look. Ford, 700,000, can't get out of their own way. And Uber, actually Uber, 660,000 to the sell side as an early look imbalance. Not having a good day is Uber, but not having a good day is much of anything.
Right. Good call on that. Okay, so look, we took advantage of that move down on the TQQs. We now only have about unfortunately, I mean, we always wish we had more shares, but what can we do about that? Other than have more shares. So right now we will wait to see what happens on this move down. So, we take out a little piece there. The move down was 68.20s. That looks like that was right at that spot. Again, it's slight the imbalance locator as Neil just went over that. Not sure what else is going to move into that close. SMH. Let's have a look at Nvidia. Nvidia has been on our mind all day, but not really so much here at the close. So that would be another something to have a quick little look at.
This is the least Nvidia has moved.
Right.
In power hour since I can remember.
Down 2.1. Oh, in power hour, yeah. I mean, we're only down 0.5%. Or we only have a half hour left. So, Yeah, excuse me. We like that 127 area. So if that can hold, I feel like that would be a good opportunity to short it. But we're already short the market here as we climb back up into the 50-period moving average. So we're not trying to, change the whole trajectory of the market. We're just going to get out when we see fit. There comes NASDAQ right back up to the upside again. So this could be a problem for our Microsoft trade. But we just did get a reload there, and we just shorted it at 47s. So maybe if we can get a quick 20 cents or so on it, we'll take a little bit more out on that side, and then something again near the bottom, just to like massage this trade. Remember where our stop is. If it breaks 70, I'm just gonna making sure. If it breaks 75, we're gonna get out on that one. So that's gonna be our stop. So just a little bit of a talk there. Just got a little bit more short at 50s as it does play the high side there and give us that fill. And again, we said just jokingly, like you can't get fill unless you're sitting around there with the bids. So
it's true.
Now or the offers. So right there, now we're bidding 30s. We're holding it up right now. That's us there on NASDAQ. You could see, unfortunately, trying to hold it up as they trying to pick us off. So we get a cup. Oh, did we get our full fill there? Actually, we did. Actually, there. I started seeing us get ticked away there, but we did get our full fill there. So that's good. So right there, we just take 20 cents on a little bit of a back and forth play there for Microsoft. So now we'll wait in the teens to see if we get that. But again, just kind of like stacking, right? We talk about that as a strategy. If there's not much happening, you kind of just got to scalp. And that's what we're doing right now on Microsoft. So that's a quick 20 cents. Remember, our risk is 20 cents upside. So we'll just go 1-to-1 there in about one. That's the same minute, I believe. Yep, so same minute right there, quick 20 cents. So we'll do that. If I could do that every day, then we won't be here that long. So that would be a good trade there. Let's see what now happens with Microsoft. Hopefully they'll push down. Remember, if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. We'll actually be up on the stock because of all these trades. So far, so good here. Hoping for a downside move. I know you still have Amazon.
There's
Uber,
just not much
Tesla.
Happening. I was looking at Uber
had
potentially.
That imbalance, right?
They had a sell imbalance. I was thinking maybe that could be a fade here, but I always start to trade with where would I be wrong, and the answer is really easy on Uber. Like opening range here, 72.90, and then a lower high at about 72.80. So it's in that pocket that I'd want to be throwing. Like either it's a 90 stop or an 80 stop, which means shorting it at 50s. Unless you got all day for it to work, no mas. Not going to happen. Just can't take it. So there's not much of a trade for Uber. It does have a nice, small sell imbalance. I shouldn't say nice. It has a small sell imbalance. Nice if you happen to be short. It's not going to do anything for me here. Vina saying Starbucks Sean. But Sean's doing some work there over on the Qs himself. How many times am I going to pull up a chart? I keep saying this over and over again. How many charts are false breakouts today? This is insane. Starbucks tried to break 96 again. The only time Starbucks was above this 96 level was in the aftermarket on earnings. The following day, 96 was the top, dump. Tried to get it again, dump. Today, tried to break, it's not really a break at 96, but it's a break of the local high, failing at 96, and it hasn't dumped, but it's pulled back one more time. So it's obvious resistance on Starbucks. And I have every single day, I'm like, okay, is it going to break out that top? Is it going to break out that top? Because it seems like it's just coiling up, holding the range from earnings like it wants to take out the high. So what I usually do in this particular case is put in SBUX, and really I just put in Starbucks on my iPad, and it auto-corrected to abuse. SBUX, and it went abuse. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. So thank you very much, Apple, and my 95-year-old iPad there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to put 96 because I'm too lazy. I know exactly what I meant. Now it's just kind of a joke to me. But I like that setup. And the setup is the same thing. After earnings, whether it goes up or down, it's consolidate off the level, make a bottom, break out the top. Or it could be make a top, break out the bottom. Neither of which has happened. So Starbucks, and again, this was more of a news story than anything else, but it's the same effect. So 91.5 has been the same low. 96 has been that same top. That's what I'd be looking for sure. Yeah, very so. It's still in that range, but that's fine. Like sometimes you just have to set up trade ideas. Like if not a lot is going to happen, then what you can do is prepare for the following session. You're getting a lot of price information out here. Like what I'm being told is on a day where Nvidia stopped making lows at 125 bucks. So it did this liquidity grab at the bottom. When was the last time you saw Nvidia do one of these days? To not break back above VWAP? To hold under VWAP after that reversal at 125? Usually Nvidia is the stock where if it does one of these bottoms, you're going to see VWAP. You're going to at least test close to the highs, the previous highs. So like, it's a weak name, relatively speaking, today. That's not good. I think we got to be looking short tomorrow off the open, or depending on where the stock is. 127.5 looks pretty good. The shorts are certainly starting to come back in here. Wish we'd found reloads on a couple of things. I can look back and say, in hindsight, you could have just shorted lower highs. Micron lit grabbed me, no questions asked. However, I don't like getting an insta-fill when you fill this. When you pop in the offer and it jumps up to get you, clearly the games were being played there, but it was to make a wick high and then dump. So Micron's still a short. And Micron under $100 might just be a short for a couple of days into the 80s. Because that's lost a 200 period moving average now and is trending down. Like, Micron is a very bad looking chart on the daily, like really bad.
All right.
What's with these graphics?
Let's go. It's
another one.
I mean, there's the trade right here. Come on, Travolta, step in here. All right, like, there's Microsoft. He's just looking around like, what's up with that? We talked about this one coming back in. So, bang, right now. That was a good idea. I mean, here comes Microsoft. So this is now 70 cents in the money. Our NASDAQ short. And I don't know, I mean, I hope you guys can sort of have realized that maybe we're just a little more calm, cool, and collected right now than, you know, potentially we used to be, because we have now a system that we've proven over and over again is a profitable one. So now we're really starting to have a little more confidence in some of the things that we've been doing. And it's been paying off. The TQs just came back in. We didn't get our full fill there. And so we had talked about that, and I'm not super pleased, again, obviously, about not grabbing full fills, but at the same time, we'll take some out. I'm going to hold to see if we can get that bottom break right there. We basically went top to bottom. Like, we can't do too much better. Shorting in front of VWAP, breaking the 200, and then coming right into another past area. So pretty happy with this trade again on the futures. If you guys are trading futures, then it's kind of what I've been doing over the last little while, and it's been paying out pretty good now. And then the Microsoft, just going back to the well with some major cap tech names, right? And there it goes right back in. So we found this one. And it's not by fluke. I mean, it was less than the market. We did talk sort of about some of these areas of concern right there. And we shorted it into that. So pretty happy with that performance there on Microsoft. And honestly, just if we can keep sort of that going into the close, then maybe we retrace even further. I mean, I was looking at the futures and thinking we've already broke that. We're under VWAP. Where's that next level? I mean, Dan Emmons and company warned us of the upside there. I agree. It's just we were getting out if we broke VWAP. So we had that plan of action. And now I feel like what's low here? What about 19,550, 19,560, 19,5? Like, we could get back in there. And if we do, I feel like we'd have a decent amount of winners here to celebrate. So let's just keep on holding this. Here comes Microsoft trying to pull lower. Yes, sir. Do I have any more bids? I should probably get something out here. What about 412? What about 412.40? Let's put a 412.40 out. All right? I mean, maybe we get it, maybe we don't, but let's put something out right down there. See if we get just going again, station to station, right? If we can get lower, let's get lower. I mean, that's what we want to do. So let's hold out hope that there is a lower print coming for this name right now on Microsoft. But so far, so good. Playing with house money, we like when we're in that opportunity.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Play with that house money. That's not just something for penny stocks. That's for real trading as well. I hear people always say that, oh, I bought this junk company. It went up 100%. Now I'm playing with house money. You own it for real. But you do the same thing when you're trading. So get some profit out there. Let the rest of it ride. So I put a trail in, and I'm going to do that thing where if I can get a chance to short off of the trail level, so stop would have been here on the VWAP trade, and now that it's coming to the downside on Amazon, I want to throw the stop just above the 50 level. I want to try to short it in the 40s. If I can, maybe even like 40 even. Doesn't seem like it wants to get up there. I'm just going to have the trail out going into 350 at this moment. So we'll see what happens with it. I mean, Uber is not going to get to VWAP. Micron, I don't think, is going to give us trading opportunity off 99. Might be worth something. It's Uber that has the imbalance, the early look imbalance. Forget about Micron. Uber has an early look imbalance on it. So if there is some kind of a short on an imbalance, if it comes out much bigger than what we saw, which was maybe 650,000, like if it comes out a million or so, a short off Uber here at 72.60 local high, I'll have that one up. We're going to try to reload Amazon by averaging up, although technically the stock is going down. So, I mean, averaging up just means you're not getting it at a worse price. But in this case, it is trending down. So I'm going to trail it to here and try and reload this one in the 40s if we can even get it. It's down here at the 20s. Might have missed that shot. Otherwise, we're just holding into the close. Tesla's breaking lower. Nvidia's breaking lower. The market's breaking lower.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at any longs here today. I wonder if Disney held the highs. That would be if Disney could have held
looking at it. They didn't, unless it hit.
Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah. That sucks. I always like to see if the market's doing this, if a stock that's trending can close at the highs, I get pretty bullish on it the next day. It doesn't mean that Disney's going to go down. It just would have liked it if it could have pressed 92s while all this was going on.
So Microsoft does go into that dollar club, but that wasn't enough for it to get us out. It does bounce off 50s. So it came into the dollar club and then sort of turned around there. It was not dressed properly. So it's going to come back in right now. And then we're going to see if it's allowed in. I think this time we'll let it, right? So if it breaks through 412.50 here, coming properly dressed, we'll put this into the dollar club. And remember where we're bidding. We're bidding for that dollar. So down into that area, into the 40s again for Microsoft. And it's just because that's this top right here is 35.36. So let's bid a little bit ahead of that. We just got a rejection right there on that downside push. So unfortunately, that's too bad for Microsoft. Hopefully it comes in one more time here. And we don't have to worry too much about it. But for right now, that is what's happening. Roblox, yeah, a little bit of a pullback here. I'm just trying to look at other names. For Microsoft, though, in case we don't get that complete move in, where is sort of that next level for us on Microsoft? We'll have a quick look to see if there is an area of where we'll punch out. Roblox 444, 44, 44. Right there was that sort of top that we had today, believe it or not. So that was a level right there. Tongue twister to come through.
44.
But yeah, 44, 44. Right there. Nice drop into 43.50, 43.80 there. But again, Roblox pretty strong. So I think that we'll look at this one for a strong name and a possible hold. Not for today. The market's doing what it's doing. But, Roblox right now, well away. Just now getting underneath the 50-period moving average. This is just a 20-minute chart. So tomorrow we'll see if Roblox can come into this 43 area, and maybe we'll buy that on some strength if there is any in the market. So yeah, so far so good there. 85 cents now. We're waiting for that dollar and change on Microsoft. Hopefully that comes through.
Yeah, I hope we get that. With only 3 minutes to go to the imbalances.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's already...
Oh,
you know what's weird? It felt like it was a very slow power hour, and then the second it got to like 3:30, I felt like we went from the early looks to it. By the way, the imbalances are going to be coming in 2 minutes. As I said, already going to be looking at Uber. I've moved the target here. If I don't get filled in the 30s, I've moved my stop, my trail, I should say, on Amazon from the 50s to the 40s as it consolidates down, and I'll look to take one fill in here and risk like under 10 cents. If I get a reload, great. And then imbalances come to the downside, then I'll have added to the short and look for the 175. If it just straight up breaks out 40s, then we'll just be out of the trade. Uber is the one, just confirm that there's still, it's still an early look, 600,000. It's not it's not a huge imbalance, but if it were to come out bigger than that and come out like 1 million shares, Uber's only done 8 million on the day. So if it were to be 1 million shares and come bigger than this, then I think that could be an interesting look. Nothing else stands out. I mean, Ford, 800,000 when that pairs off almost every single time. You got Palantir for a very small buy of 500,000 shares. So not a heck of a lot on the imbalance locator. Probably worth looking at Nvidia as well. But I'll be focused on maybe Uber. We're just going to hang on to Amazon, see if Uber comes out with anything. It has to be bigger than 1 million shares to get my interest, though.
Yeah, I didn't even realize at the time
was
coming on to that one. So yeah, we're going to have to maybe just sort of be happy here. Let's take that sort of 90 cents. I just sat on the bid here on Microsoft. So if we do get filled, I just put a 57 in there. One more push down, and we might as well almost just punch out right now. Are we going to get that fill or not? See how we were bidding 57s there, and it literally came to us on the bid again. So let's just not worry too. There we go. We'll just punch out. Oh, cancel my bid. I'm not even on the right stock. Cancel bids. All right, there it is. So we punched them out there at 67 or 68 on Microsoft just to make sure that we do grab a piece down there. I don't need this thing retracing all the way back, so let's just take that out. I mean, whatever, man. It's 85 cents. We'll definitely take that instead of just waiting for that dollar. Same difference all over the place, but there it comes back in. Oh, I thought I hit Shift B there. Oh, wrong stock. We did hit Shift B, but on the wrong stock right there. That was on the TQQs. So, all right, we'll take another piece out. We do wind up getting that 50. So that is now a certified dollar club winner for that. Although by accident, we took an extra piece out. But hey, I don't blame, I don't not mad at that trade because of what Neil mentioned. We are now minutes away, or one minute away from the imbalances. So if Microsoft comes out a bid, then this stock probably goes back up to those highs. So right now, unfortunately, we only have about 15% left, maybe even less than that, as we wait to see what's going to happen now. So yeah, not overly thrilled with that execution by me, but that's okay. Happy to get out for sure. The NASDAQ continues to bleed down. I mean, we could get out of this one right now and just call that a day. That's probably something that we should do.
Oh, I just trailed out.
Yeah, you just trailed out as well. Okay, there it is. Let's out. Let's go.
Sometimes the trail happens before 350.
Yeah, we're doing that, man. I'm doing that. We are trailing that out of the TQQs. That's just a ho-hum 60 cents right there. Microsoft was $1. I hope you enjoyed trading with us this afternoon. I mean, I can tell by the net it's been a profitable one. I hope you guys are able to swing that as well. So far, so good here into the close. Let's see what winds up happening with 10 left.
Yeah, 10 seconds to go till we get the imbalances. There was a question in the chat about where we see the imbalances built into our platform here at Real Trading. So this is built into the platform. If your broker doesn't have it, ask them if you can get it, because if you have direct market access, you should have access to it. So Intel's a buy of 1.8 million. We don't care about the Broadcom 1 million to buy. That's significant.
Okay.
Nothing else is over 1 million shares. It's Broadcom. I don't even see. I thought Uber might be something. I don't even see it. So just AVGO at 1 million to the buy side. What did Broadcom do here?
Avgo?
Avgo. Is that what
I have no idea. Adara has names like that, so I was wondering.
Avgo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not much of a move though. 50 cents, I guess it went. That's not enough. Yeah, it didn't really move that much. It's only done 11 million shares. That's a good 8 or 9% of the daily volume on that imbalance, but not a very large move here on AVGO. So let's call it a little bit of a nothing burger. See if anything came in late. No, nothing came in late. It's just Broadcom and Intel to the buy side. Broadcom, I'll keep it up. Maybe something happens in the last little bit here. You never really know. They don't report till they're next week.
Are they next week?
Hold on a second. Let's double check. Yeah, September 5th, whatever day that is. I'm going to guess that's next Wednesday? Is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
First day of school. Yeah, that's right.
Third is.
Why the heck? Anyways,
That's yours.
But why the hell is the first day of school on the Wednesday, not the Tuesday? It's Labor Day. School starts after Labor Day in Canada.
It must be staggered.
Tuesday, we should be going back to school. So why is it that people have to now come up with like plans for daycare and whatever on Tuesday? They start school on the Wednesday. Like, it doesn't make any sense. When I was a kid, Labor Day happens, you go to school the Tuesday after Labor Day. That's just the rule. But anyways, I don't even know why I'm mad about that. I do know why I'm mad about that, because it's stupid. But it doesn't really matter. Broadcom not moving a heck of a lot. 1 million to the buy side, doesn't seem to be doing anything. The market was a 570 million buy. The NASDAQ, specifically 820. The Mag 7, 260. That's kind of a nothing burger as far as the imbalances go. But that's okay. I trailed out of my one short on Amazon. Let's double check to see if it was a good out. Not always. Oh, it looks like it did tick back into the 20s. So we would have had a chance to maybe get 15 to 20 cents better, but it's headed to the upside now. So we're going to back off that one. Yeah, if you guys ever have questions about, like what stock or X stock has this imbalance, or where are you guys seeing this? No problems asking about that. And every time someone asks me about something that their broker doesn't have, your broker works for you. If there's a key or something isn't working right, or you got a bad fill, your broker works for you. Always make sure that you ask them. If it's a feature you want, you should be asking them, because you want the tools out there to be able to trade the way that you want to trade. And if you're not getting it from your broker, then you should say something about it. Here we're lucky that at Real Trading, they have a system where you can put tickets in and request features, all that kind of stuff, and it's good feedback system that actual traders are the ones asking for the improvements in the platform. So it's built for traders by traders, they say.
So it's going to work out okay, but I was just like, oh no, because I just put the wrong order in for Microsoft and it punched me out, which is fine because now it's going to the upside. So we only had 15% left of this trade. So we will still wind up making on that last piece, that was 47's out O's. So we'll still make 40 cents, but these were the key outs, man. 74s, 50s and 60s, and that's why we get out, because then when the imbalances hit, as we've talked about a couple times now on the show, you want to watch out for some of that. Adara probably gave it to us. I didn't look. Yeah, 570 to buy. NASDAQ was 820 to buy. The Mag 7s were also buy, added all up as well. So yeah, some good little takes there for us at the end of the day. Let's see what NVIDIA winds up doing. So basically, as Neil had mentioned, nothing into the close. So that's kind of like boohoo. Let's wait to see what happens with NVIDIA tomorrow. Today, nothing apparently on NVIDIA. Although I mean, it's still a trade. It's just, it was more aggressive off the open. And then you had to have sat there. You can see the volume's been pretty light. The rest of the afternoon, you've had to sort of been able to either been short early, I feel like, obviously, or kind of get lucky and maybe buy this 126 area, but it didn't seem super clean to me anywhere over there. A name that, again, same sort of fate to the bottom today was Tesla. That sort of stopped around 212, so we could sort of think about that for tomorrow. We had a beautiful trade in Micron. Short, this was the best one, man. Short 102, short again there 100. That was a doozy for sure. And then Meta was huge. So, you know, the two biggest stocks from me will be Meta and Micron coming through there. And then the TQs, again, we talked about sort of holding on to some of that Microsoft, but we obviously flipped the script there on the NASDAQ and get out right before those imbalances. What I've learned a lot, but what else I've learned is that you don't, now it's going to pull back, but you don't want to be, see there's the flip over at 55. You don't want to be in these names. Like right there, I could have just lost 30, 40 cents by going long there. Like when you get sort of this action at 355 and 350, what's the point of sort of putting yourself out there for that? So just get out of the way and see what winds up happening. But that's sort of my strategy here into the close. So I'm going to keep doing that, I think. Not really worth it, Neil, unless you see something.
Yeah, if something happens, I'd rather if you're in the money and something happens, like when you have that trail, leave it on Sean's screen while I say this. Can you put that back up? Because I have PDD up. There we go. So like if you're in the short, like we were, you had TQs, I was in Amazon. If you have your trail stop out before 355, if it comes out sell and bounce, you get to just hold to see how far it goes down. But if it comes out buy or something happens the other direction, you take that profit. That's what we're always talking about. The other thing that you can apparently just do is sell Pinduoduo at $100.
Yes.
All afternoon, it's still actually happening here. Somebody is selling the boat at $100 on PDD. And this started, and shout out to everyone in the chat that pointed this out. It might have been worth doing. I don't have a great defense for why you wouldn't just scalp this in the 90s. It broke a couple of times to get to like 101. And I mean by $100.01. I don't mean like $101. And this last move came down to 99.20. Maybe there's a 100 trade tomorrow on PDD. It will be short sell restricted tomorrow because it was down 29% today. So not a very good day for Pinduoduo. Obviously, Alibaba down on sympathy. We'll see what that $100 has in store with, but someone is selling the boat out of that one. Paco in the chart just throwing up Oxy. Oxy did a bit of a bounce, but it's supposed to bounce. Occidental, you're supposed to bounce when energy is up.
Yeah.
It's not doing that much off that 55 level. It's only at like $57, but it's better than being under $55 the last I checked. So it's not the best. Not the best look for Oxy when you look at this chart compared to some other energy names, but it tends to bounce from the 55 level. That's the only defense I have, is I'm long because 55 has worked over and over again. It's an ugly looking chart where it hasn't even made a rounded bottom, which usually that's what I'd want at a low. Like that market still seeming like it wants to sell. This is not what you want to see if you're looking for strength. Nvidia rounding back into 126. You just don't see capitulation bottoms on Nvidia that don't make it to VWAP these days. And this was one of them. I can't remember the last time this happened because that was a capitulation bottom at 125. Like the bid dropped, it got right through the evens. I remember I was trying to get long somewhere in here, couldn't get anything unless you chased it, and then it couldn't even get to VWAP. Not a great day for Nvidia as the market is taking it on the chin a little bit, but you know, down 1% isn't the end of the world.
No, we'll be okay there. Now it's only 2 minutes left to go. Again, thanks for joining. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I was actually just going to say that. Hit the like and the subscribe, and you can join this fun every single day. And you'll get reminded. We're live every single day at 8:30, so get ready for that with only 2 minutes to go. The NASDAQ pulled right back in, so good trading there if you're able to somehow take that trade off of the 200 period. We've been going short this whole time. We actually get out at the bottom, and it comes right back to the bottom. So good out there, I feel like. And then Microsoft as well. We talked about that being a mistake, but I probably would have got stopped out anyways. But Nice pullback in for Softy as well. So yeah, just a minute and a half left. Should be an exciting close, I guess. Let's just check on Nvidia quickly to see what that's doing. Check on Meta 520. Okay, it's funny that we wrote down TQQ $68. It looks like that's where we will end up. There's Tesla 213, last minute of play in this period. And then I want to look at Nvidia. Oh, okay. So nice move down for Nvidia. Kind of looks like the market, right? That looks like that TQQ trade. Yep. So bouncing off of 126, maybe key area of concern tomorrow, 126 for Nvidia.
Yeah, I still think that 127.5 is going to be a big level as well. Sometimes the morning low or the morning, in this case, resistance level or support level is going to matter. I count it as the only place it bounced in the first half an hour to, or essentially to the resistance that still stood the rest of the day, $127.50 on Nvidia. Gonna mark that one off.
Wow, okay.
It's failed 131. I mean, you could see 123 if that's going to be the case. It's certainly possible. So with only about 20 seconds or 25 seconds to go, it's been a good start to the week, especially because traders are allowed to go short.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean there weren't strong stocks out there. If you could only go long, there was Disney was strong, there was the banks that were strong, there was Kava that was strong. There's always something out there for you as a trader, but today the short certainly paid off. In 3, 2, and 1, let's ring it, Adara. As it just creeps up on us, I just saw in the chat someone saying Apple was running. Hey, whoa, yeah, Apple got green. Congratulations, Apple. Apple finding a way to close green today. So NASDAQ down 1 point. The ES, why is the bell still ringing? Adara rang the you-know-what out of that bell because it's still going. As Obi just calms it down. You could have let it ring, Obi. There's nothing wrong with that. We could just let it go as long as it wanted to. Could have been a nice experiment. How long will that bell ring on its own there? So good luck. So Apple got green. That's always, you want to find relative strength in the market on a day where all the big cap tech names we were looking at in the afternoon looked pretty weak underneath VWAP. Apple got to the top and got green. That'll put me at least a little bit bullish on that particular one. Shout out to Ramin today. On the 1s and 2s, all by herself. Fabian was away, so she was setting everything up, making us look and sound good as well, and offering everybody tasty treats in the morning, although I happen to decline. Big shout out both to Adara and to Sharif. Learn to trade as usual every single day, trading while giving you guys those lessons. It's always a fantastic job. And a big shout out to Michael Noss this morning, our special guest. I'm pretty sure he did talk about that equal weight, the RSP there this morning, and curious to see what his thoughts are on this market move with Sean in the aftermarket show as well. So it's been a good start to the week. I know everybody's happier when the market goes up, but we're here to trade. And you got to be able to trade that trend down. So we took advantage of it the best we could. Shout out to everyone out there that had a great day. But you know what? You still have a half an hour to go because we got the market recap. We've got Sean, we got Adara, we got Michael Noss right about now. Bye, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the recap show as we will go over a couple different names today, a couple different earnings. I mean, there's not too much. We had Trip.com. We talked about that coming through. TCOM. As soon as that hits, Adara will have that for you. And then later on in the week, of course, we have the bigger names coming with Lululemon, Salesforce, Nvidia, CrowdStrike, and a couple others.
All the spicy ones.
Retail names coming through. Yeah, not a crazy green day out there. Obviously, as we looked at the NASDAQ, and we were really short into the close, man. We were short Microsoft, we were short the NASDAQ, and that started to print for us. So we actually wind up having a pretty good close and a pretty good day today, that is for sure. But 475, 476 there for the NASDAQ. Couldn't get above that, so we'll have to wait to see if there's going to be more pressure coming in the next couple of days. And remember, ahead of Nvidia, we actually talked about this earlier on in the show. If they miss, I don't even know. Like, it's not even about, I don't think they're going to miss, but it's about the guide. If there's some weakness in there, there's just so many other names underlying here. We could talk with the SMH. We could talk about some of these other ETFs that are triple levered, double levered into these names. So if all of a sudden, if you get a sell situation, then they're going to have to go in and they're going to apply more pressure to the downside of Nvidia because they're going to have to sell the SOXL, therefore lightening up on the ETF, lightening up on the position there for a name like Nvidia, AMD. I mean, we saw today a big smash level there for Micron as well. What a downside push that was today. We got Micron right up here at the beginning of the day. Like that was a all the way down. Then we had the 100 break as well, and that was $2 to the downside. Micron sick today, down 4%. That name continues to go down. Well, where was their strength? Oil. So right there, we talked about U.S. oil a couple times today. We get the distribution of that on Wednesday. But there it is, man, the EIA number. Nice hold down there at $71, $72, back up through 78. Right now goes USO. So let's wait to see what happens on that level up above the 50-period moving average as tensions sort of rise there in the Middle East. And obviously nothing seems to be happening with ceasefires and whatnot, unfortunately, in Palestine and that area there with Israel. So maybe oil continues to be on watch. We've talked about XLE. Earlier today, I pointed out before we had Michael Noss on that gold was also continuing its upside move at all-time highs. And right now we are starting to pull back a little bit. Obviously, it's up today, but I feel like, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I feel like it was up more in the pre-market, which it was. Started a nice downside move there in the pre-market, and then boom, all the way back up into that level one more time. That is GLD, XLE, OIH, XOP, utilities upside today, copper upside today, as some of these names continue to go. RSP, relative strength, boom on that one, upside. The thing is, Adara, we're only points away from all-time highs anyways, including SPY. So whether or not you took RSP or SPY, they're both performing. I'd have to look to see the numbers, but I feel like they're both performing pretty good over the last month and a half. So nice move there for RSP upside. So what was down today? Well, we started the day with KWeb as being negative. I actually highlighted that. A little bit of an island break down there into $25. You do have PDD that started really like yuck all day. This never really got out of its own way, did it? Downside move there in the morning. 6:30, this stock was $125 a dare, and then we end the day at 100, and it just opened up and just puked all afternoon, all morning really. Afternoon, it didn't do too much. Let's watch out for 101, 102 area for PDD. Hopefully that can come in again as well. So that would be something. SMHQ's ARC and TAN. TAN, we saw Solar Edge kind of reverse itself, right? Wasn't Solar Edge up on that?
It was up like 10%, and then it fell like 8%.
These markets are putting me to sleep as well.
So it's not the markets. It's not the markets. It's the oversleeping this weekend.
Oh man, I wish. Can I please oversleep at some point in my life?
It was pretty violent, Sean.
Yeah. I know you. I understand that sleeping is much more affected with you than myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think we all want what we can't have. I'll put it that way. Yeah, I'll put it that way.
Right. I get enough sleep. I have 7-8 hours a day. It seems to be pretty good.
That's a normal person amount. That's good.
Yeah,
that's what you should be.
That's a normal person amount.
That's good.
All right. So SEDG downside as well. We will have Michael Noss coming through in just a couple minutes. Let's just talk about some names that got heated up today because there's not too much there. First of all, did TCOM, Dara, why don't you find out if
they're
TCOM
supposed to report
came
at 6. I put this in the chat.
Oh,
I'm
6.
seeing their conference call is supposed to be at 8 p.m. I'm seeing they're supposed to report at 6 p.m. Sometimes those do end up coming out earlier, so I do have it up on all the platforms if the earnings pop up. But I'm saying don't expect. If they come out early, it'll be a surprise, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I like that. You said that quite well, so that's good. If it comes out, it'll be a surprise because we are using the Benzinga Pro platform, so you guys can get that link in the description below and sign up now. I can't remember what the deal is, but go to the link below and you'll be able to find that out right now. But this is where we get it's live updated. We also have it in our ears as well. If anything comes through just during the day or for earnings, we will go over that. I thought they might have been out because all of a sudden we just ticked up about 30, 40 cents, but that's kind of like that fat finger issue that happens quite often. I'm just looking through ARC today. I mean, I like ARC. I mean, we talked about the IWM, obviously two different things, but ARC, again, buying some of those depressed assets just because they're depressed. I mean, some of these names that she's been picking out, UiPath, Teladoc, some of these names continue to get hit.
Path reports next week, too.
Oh, watch out for Tesla. That's going to be a big holding in this account. And then I'm not sure what's going on with Bitcoin, but IWM right now trying to get back. We've highlighted this stock this stock, sure, why not, this ETF for the Russell 2000 many times, and it fell into that 200. Now, to be sitting there on that Monday is something else, but you could be long in around here, $207, $205 for that sort of support, and now you're being rewarded with that one. Nice upside moves there for IWM, so that continues to work in a good rate-sensitive area is IWM. TAN's been a recipient of some nice pushbacks since we've had the talk of lower rates. So that's been really good as well. And then one name that Michael's going to yell at me for, what is uranium doing? Okay. We had talked about live on this show, and he said it was my level down here at 25, and I'm not long. So maybe we need to rethink our uranium situation and get into that one. Oh boy, Sean, Hydration Nation. Yeah, let's go again on that one. We're at the 9 p.m. level right now.
Wow, someone's hydrated.
So this is a gallon, 1 gallon. So I feel like we didn't fill it all the way up. So we filled it about 80%.
I appreciate the honesty, the honesty.
Okay, Ramin?
I didn't say that.
No, because the
I
thing is,
said
she's
it like you're
not
honest,
showing
and
me the
Ramin's
love.
like, oh, you're cheating.
No, we're not cheating. I was trying to show it. So on here, Ramin, it says 9 a.m. So I'm trying to, we didn't fill it up until 9 a.m. You know what, Ramin? Honestly, no more matchas. No more of these like iced lattes, whatever she asked me for. What is that stuff from Tim Hortons she always gets? The ice caps?
Yeah.
Forget about that, man. I'm only getting you something, and I'm going to be getting Neil apple fritters.
I still owe you a matcha latte.
Okay, I'll take
So
it.
next time I'll get you, because last time you just got in McDonald's, I was like, well, now I can't get one.
Yeah,
But
Ramin asked me today. No.
Next
forget
time
about
we'll
it.
get both of you guys matcha.
Not her. I don't want, if you're getting her one, I don't want one.
What the heck?
No.
What, you was being so Ramin to Ramin.
Exactly how the tides have turned so fast. Poor Michael Noss is in the thing. He's like, do I even want to come on to this show today? Like, what exactly is going on right now? But I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching. Again, man, over 3,000 of you watching right now. So we want to thank all of that going on. And we will have, of course, no earnings to report. So let's quickly go over the stock heat map right now and see what's going on right here. So let's just do a little bit of a talk. If we can go to my screen, we'll just talk about this. Both major indices formed, and maybe Michael Noss can talk about this. A bear flag on Monday with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ consolidating in range-bound patterns following steep drops off the open. Today we had Redfin and Mullen move around and RR for some light stocks there, low cap stocks moving around. PDD obviously sells off aggressively, but honestly, it's Nvidia down 2.25 that sends this down as we go ahead into earnings. We also have CrowdStrike. Who calling me right now? Unknown. Good. Downside right now. GDP and PCE are on watch for Thursday and Friday. That could start something as well. Energy sector outperforming a little bit today as Middle East worries continue. Obviously, as we look at AMD, Broadcom, and the semis continue to go down. Qualcomm. I mean, I feel like this is positioning ahead of everything. Apple's still up. Google positive. It's nice to see that one. Microsoft on Meta. They've been doing a heavy lifting. Meta has been. So they're down. Google switching it up. Flip the script, says Google. Eli Lilly flat on the day. That's a name we always talk about, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Did you trade Eli Lilly today?
Not today, but I did trade its spready cousin SMCI profitably, so that was something.
They're cousins, those two?
No, I'm just saying the way they move is kind of
I
cousinly.
like that. No, it's yeah. They're
call them cousins.
yeah, $500-600 stocks.
Right, yeah, they're
Eli
both
Lilly.
expensive. They both have larger spreads.
Yeah, we like that one. Tesla down 3 and a bit today. Walmart up. Amazon down as we see what's up with the brick and mortars. Oh no, Costco up 1.15%, up 1.51% as my wife getting ready to go there tomorrow. They were at this Canadian National Exhibition today and did have a great time there. Tomorrow they go to Costco. You know what we need? We actually just ran out of napkins at our house.
That's
So
not a great thing to
added to the Costco list.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, now we have, last time they were at Costco, she bought paper towels. So right now we're ripping the paper towels, using those as napkins.
What's the difference between the paper towels and the napkins? You use them for different purposes, or like?
Yeah, like dinner napkins.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah,
so you're
the
like
paper
fancy.
towel is
Okay.
like you're cleaning either you're cleaning your mirror, or
Yeah.
maybe your kids have spilled something on the ground and you're cleaning that up. So we would not use
See,
them.
I use them interchangeably, but I guess the Katina household is a little. You got to have the different uses. I respect that.
The Katina household's a nightmare. Okay, no, just with the stuff we go through. Like we go through everything. It's like
not
you
what I
ever
was
been?
trying to
This
say.
is a problem for most families. It's like, oh, the kids are upstairs in the bathroom. Oh, we ran out of toilet paper. Bring me down a toilet paper or up a toilet. You got to throw these toilet papers up and down. You try to stock them as much as you possibly can. But at the end of the day, they always go out. You like fancy ketchup or no? Someone in the chat wants to know about that.
I mean, I have the spice tolerance of a small child, so I'm assuming fancy ketchup
Potentially
is a
an
little too
infant.
spicy. Potentially younger than an infant. Potentially like in
There's
like
no
not birth yet.
tolerance again at all there.
Not
all right,
at
so
all, guys.
TCOM, those of you that are here for TCOM, sorry, that will be happening around 6 o'clock. So that is the earnings report there for TCOM, and a little bit of a move in the market today. We just went over the stock heat map. I can only stay till 4:30, which means it's Trader Talk now, Ramin. Let's go. Javier Diaz is talking about spicy ketchup. You like spicy ketchup, Michael?
I'm also not a very spicy good person. I
Probably
sweat
better
at
than
just
me.
the lamest thing out there.
Like if you went to just like a normal bar there and they had hot wings and you said to them, give me a scale here, and they said, okay, 10 is like our hot. Are you like around a 5, or you're not even trying like half of the hottest, or are you a honey garlic?
2 on a
two.
good day.
What about Thai chili? Like that's not that spicy. Thai, the spicy Thai, is that too spicy? Okay, let's move on. You know, Wingstop, we could probably talk about Wingstop stock. Are you liking uranium? So me and you talked about uranium the other day, and today it's a little bit of a different stock or ETF than you brought to us this morning. This morning we were talking about stocks that were breaking out. And I know you and I went over uranium before. You drew that sort of smiley face there. We had some solar names moving around. We don't have to talk about URA. It doesn't matter. It's just some of these names right now trying to get going, because today I noticed USO was up, XLE was up, and not to speak about what maybe you're about to speak about, but you love looking for names that are maybe relatively strong or weak against that market. And today we had a move down in the NASDAQ. So were you looking for pockets of strength at all? And what did you find? What do you want to talk about, Michael Noss?
Yeah, I was still hunting for pockets of strength. I'm still long uranium. We talked about that. This from URA. We talked about the bounce that occurred around that kind of $20 area, or 23, 24. So I am a little bit from there. I talked about this NLR ETF. That's both uranium and the uranium stocks.
Ooh.
In that one as well. That one looking good. But yeah, I was hunting relative strength all day. If the market's going to continue to break out here, I wanted to take a look at some sectors, and really, I think more of the biotech theme is very interesting to me. So here's another ETF. Again, I always bring you guys the weirdest ETFs, this XHP. So this is pharmaceuticals. I don't really know where pharmaceuticals differs from biotechs, but this one is actually approaching new, not all-time highs, but these breakout highs that it had back here going on at the beginning of the year. And with most other candles today showing red, this one actually gapped up and closed green. So that's a lot of what I'm hunting for today, is things that were actually able to be up from the close as opposed to up from the open.
Yeah, you did talk about XPH. I never heard of that one, so congratulations. That's another one that we'll have to add to our list. I like the XLV. It has that Eli Lilly sort of exposure in there as well. And do you ever look at, and I never heard you talk about this, but some of these ETFs, do you ever look at sort of the management fees or some of those costs that are associated with these ETFs, or you're not really holding them for long enough to really get that worked up about those kind of things? You're just looking for price action, I guess?
Yeah, just price action, and mainly I'm trading the underlyings anyway.
Right.
Mainly, if I like something like I don't know, a healthcare name, like you just talked about with Eli Lilly, I would look for the individual components that I like the best. The ETFs are basically just to give me an idea of what's out there. And because every day there seems to be another handful of ETFs coming online, all with their own kind of unique themes, my theory is if I just go through enough of them every night, then eventually I'll get a pretty good picture in my head of what's going on.
Me and you talked before about Bitcoin, and you had called the chart. You really liked it as we were going to the top end, and then obviously that failed, gave us opportunities to get out of that trade. I have IBIT up here right now. I can call up Bitcoin as well, or you can choose any of these things. I know you like MSTR and Mara and things like that. Is there anything in this space? Because we've seen a beautiful retracement back, retracement back upside there from 28.50. I hate using those bottoms as the bottoms, but those are prices. Bouncing off the 200 again on an attempted fail. And now IBIT continues to go to the upside as Bitcoin hovering around 63, 64,000. We still like this right now. Is it too much in the middle? For me, it's almost too much in the middle to do anything right now. I'd almost rather play strength and let it break through 73,000 again and then bust through the top of Bitcoin. Are we looking in the same direction there? Leave it alone until we get back to those highs?
Yes, and so again, full disclosure, I have a little bit of Mara that I have up on the screen here just because of the short float, and we mentioned, I think on a prior episode, that these guys are starting their whole HODL they're trying to go with MicroStrategy. They're just buying Bitcoin now. They're raising money to buy Bitcoin, and I have a little bit. But any serious position, you're right. I want to wait for it to break highs. And Bitcoin has this ethos of being an incredibly volatile instrument. But if you really go and study the chart and look back since before 2018, when everything started to blow up, you'll notice that essentially it has these long periods where it does absolutely nothing, like years of just chopping around in a range, and then when it makes a decision, whichever way it is, you get this nice good trend. So when it comes to crypto, I think if you're in a range, you just wait. Mara, for example, how much could you have got chopped up if you were just trying to trade it inside of this range? So Bitcoin's the same way. You could buy support, sell resistance. You could do a little bit of that swing scalping idea if you want. But yeah, I'm with you. I want to see a new and a clean all-time high break, and then I'll start to look to get involved.
I agree with that one. Michael, I'm not going to get a chance to talk to you until NVIDIA time. Right? So this is going to be our last chance. NVIDIA's coming on Wednesday. Why do we say uh-oh around here?
I don't know. I was just looking.
Everyone's like,
I'm not saying uh-oh.
All right, let's talk about it just real quick. I know heading into earnings, I know it's very, very difficult to call it. Like, I don't know if they're going to report higher or lower. I don't know if they're going to guide. I don't know what the situation is. But they still remain up there pretty high. I mean, we've been looking at names, and again, I'm going to play the Michael Noss game. Look at SMH, right? We're starting to go below the 50 period, starting to turn the other way. SOXL. There's weakness in other names. I mean, Micron is downside. Look at that. We had this Micron trade today, boy, breaking through this $100 level. That was a pretty smooth move. We had the short today, then breaking through 100 as well. Micron weaker. AMD, like, still hugely off the top there. 227 down to 150, like 227 to 150. So I think something looks different. And to me, it's NVIDIA. NVIDIA above the 50 period, above everything else. Is this a warning sign? Do you have any thoughts? Are you hearing anything about NVIDIA right now? Are we being sort of believe that maybe this is a better number because it's higher than all these other stocks? You hearing anything? Is there anything to be worried about here with NVIDIA?
Well, I think the charts you just went through shows the reason that I say uh-oh. So first you started with SMH, and you showed that SMH, and I talked about that on the morning show, that SMH has been relatively weak on this bounce to the rest of the market. And then you went through MU and AMD. We won't even talk about Intel. All of these names are
Broadcom is up there.
Are hugely relatively weak to SMH. So we have SMH relatively weak to the overall market right now. We have pretty much every name except Nvidia weak to that SMH, and Nvidia makes up about 20% of the entire semiconductor index right now. So if we get a bad news here, that's going to just absolutely bring down SMH, because everything else can't keep up with Nvidia. So that's going to kind of, in my opinion, that's going to cascade everything down. And then that's going to leave a tug on the S&P 500, the overall cap-weighted S&P 500. And this is why this whole sector, I wouldn't be going anywhere near until well after this earnings is completely behind us. And not even that, I was trying to find the word, but I want not only earnings to be behind, but I want a couple days for the people who actually dissect earnings to be able to approach that before I'd go anywhere near any kind of semiconductor out there. I'm going to be sticking with my gold. I'm going to be sticking with my financials and the stuff that's breaking out to new all-time highs that's relatively strong to the semiconductor sector.
I mean, at least if anything happens to our gold, we can make chains out of it. I mean, if our NVIDIA, I mean, what are we going to do? Just tie a GPU around our neck? I mean, that seems a little bit silly to me as well. Michael, I like that play. I always talk about a 3-day rule after earnings. And I was actually thinking that if there's so much weakness in all the other names, I feel like once it starts to bottom out, we will go back to the king of NVIDIA. So maybe take some money out now, let it settle down, and then if there is some weakness, we'll be able to find a push back in that name once it finally settles. So I mean, I really like the story, and I think it can continue to go. So good advice there on NVIDIA. My partner in crime over here at Dara would like to speak to you.
I actually do have a question for you, Michael. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We just talked about Nvidia, but there's another semiconductor name making its first earnings report after a 10-to-1 split. That's going to be Broadcom. They're reporting not this week, but the week after, that Thursday evening. So I was wondering if you have any views on Broadcom. I know it might be a little hard depending on how this one reacts to Nvidia, but AVGO could be an interesting one here.
And this one I think is a little bit slept on, right? So if we go and we just take a look at the chart I have open here, I zoomed out here on daily chart, and this is just continuing to make new highs and again, just a monster. A little bit less, I think a little bit more into networking, a little bit less into actually just the GPU manufacturing. So a little bit of a different sector, but the problem is everyone I've talked to, all the traders I talked to, all the technicians, everybody is waiting for Nvidia earnings because of that 20% cap that they have on the overall market. So to be honest, and it sounds kind of sad, even for a company that's worth, 400 or 745 billion, so almost $1 trillion market cap, that this is in the semiconductor world, this is going to be a bit of a small fish. So I think this is going to get pulled around by whatever happens in Nvidia. So unless there's a really big surprise one way or the other, I don't think it will matter too much. I think all that matters right now in the semiconductor space is what does Nvidia say versus what is the market expecting.
Michael, without any further ado, we don't have too much time left, but I want to know one thing, because the sector that I'm interested in, we've talked about healthcare a little bit already. The next one for me is going to be energy. We've talked about alternative energy a little bit. Is there anything in traditional that you like? I mean, Chevron's been pulled back a lot. XOM starting to break, so I think like relatively strong there on XOM. We've had a couple traders on liking the XLE. I recently put on a position again, added to my position in the XLE on the long side of things. Is there a specific play right now in the energy space that you're looking at, maybe you're in or looking to take a trade in the next couple weeks, days?
I think the XLE is a good one. I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older, but I'm liking these ETFs more and more. But I think we would be completely amiss if we didn't talk about the potential here on Oxy again.
Okay.
Now, right, they're calling this the Buffett bottom because every single time it's gotten down here, this is a weekly chart going back to 2022. This is where Warren Buffett has been buying. So he's been creating the floor of this. I don't know if he has a technician on staff or if he just likes this price and is creating the demand zone himself, but it's going to move with XLE. So if XLE is going to move, this is going to be a good headwind. I like it anytime that you see Buffett buying these things, not just because everybody who's out there has their price set around here. I think it's $56 or so that he's been buying it at. But also, he locks up the float. He's not the kind of guy who's going to buy this and then even if it doubles from here, just turn around and sell it instantly. He's going to be in this name for years. So I think you could potentially play the Buffett bottom here on Oxy, and it makes your decision pretty simple, right? I've got a pretty clear line drawn right here. Call it $56. You could pick some up there. If you see a weekly close under 55 or something like that, you could get out. I think this would be also good for options players. I'm not a big options guy myself, but I could see you, selling puts below it, doing a risk reversal, buying calls, that kind of thing. For those who think we're going to get a bounce here, because if we do end up breaking through this high, that's all the way up at $75, and we take the move, the measured move, which on just flat base plays is you just take the distance from the low of the base to the high of the base and you add up the price. That gets us to $100. Through $100, maybe we get to 120. So you're talking about a potential double on this name that's really, really chill if two things occur. If that support holds and if we get this turn in XLE and in oil that we can. So that's a trade that I've been watching. I'm just waiting for some sort of signal. I think Wednesday is when they have their oil inventory numbers. So maybe after Wednesday is when I'll pull the trigger. Yes, sir. Wednesday, Michael Noss at 10:30. You can join us here live on Trader TV Live for those oil numbers. Unbelievable. I look at this weekly chart, it was down to $10 back there in 2020. Like, I guess when there's blood in the streets there, remember, we had oil turn red and all turn negative and all that stuff per barrel. Michael, thank you so much. Everyone loving the backdrop there. We were just talking a little bit about sleep there. You as a relatively new father to a new little one there, what's your sleep schedule looking like these days? What's sleep?
Okay, I didn't think so. All right. So we're still working through that. All right, you and Adara can join the Sleep Less Club.
Well, I sleep too much. That's
you
my
sleep
issue.
too much. That's right. The oversleep.
I oversleep.
Michael, thank you so much. We will cheer on NVIDIA earnings and try to remember what you talked about. A lot of people thanking you for going over some of those names. So thank you, Michael, and best of luck, and get some rest, my friend.
Thank you, Michael.
Ciao. He'll be back on Friday. And make sure everybody does check out Trader TV 20 on Trade Ideas. You can go on their website, ask for the promo code, type in Trader TV 20. Michael also available there. I didn't even go over his socials, my bad. You can find Michael Noss there on Instagram or on X. And he's a real one. He answers all, like I message him and he gets back to me almost immediately. I don't want to overhype him, so if he takes a couple minutes, he is a busy guy, but Michael definitely able and willing to help out everybody. So thank you, Michael, for coming on, not only this morning, but right now. Yeah. So that's Michael Noss. We don't have too much time left. We got to wrap this thing up. So you know what I'm going immediately over to?
Roll call.
That's it. It's roll call. Thing is, come on, Ramin, man. What's in Sean's bottle? I mean, come on, man.
Shout out to Ramin.
It's gin. You have it the wrong way. I've already talked about this. It's not water or vodka. No, it's water mixed in with more water. So it's just
it's a water tonic then.
It's a water tonic, yes. But tonics would not. But this is not sparkling water, though.
Yeah, but it's a joke. It's just like water on water.
I got you.
It's a mix of water.
Thank you to Michael Noss for here. Look, it's roll call right now. Let's go over this real quickly here. So 52% believe it's water. All right. I like that one. Let's go. That's right. Coming back in, sipping on some scissor. Yeah, that is right. We are doing some of that. Not now, though. Last time I had, you know what? I don't actually even remember the last time I had a cold or anything like that, like cough syrup and stuff like that.
Really?
You know, yeah. Really, I've been pretty good.
No scissor.
Minnesota's in the house. What's up, Minnesota? Sorry about JJ McCarthy there, but you still have the other JJ. He's going to be a great one. Justin Jefferson right there. What's up to Benston Burrell? Neo Rob is here. Monty G. Jeremy Newman's here. Richard Fan, this is Roll Call. You are now part of Roll Call, Richard. So welcome to that. Bitcoin Trader, what's up? Tiny. You know what? Gin and lemonade is pretty good. I haven't had one of those in a minute.
I can't do gin.
Okay, forget about gin. Why would I say that? Gin and tonic then would be the best one for sure. Pitchbull says thank you, Adara, and Sean is fired. Thank you for that one. Henry Bitcoin, and thanks to Adara as well from Andrew Chow. Pedro Pardo, please check AMD. Yeah, we will be doing that lots. Trust me on that one. What's up to Jeremy Rivian Millionaires? He's saying let's go Rivian and let's go Nvidia as well. We can't do this show without Bears versus Bulls. We can't do it without Adara, and we can't do it without Ramin. I don't see anybody else here, so I think that's about it. Shout out to Obi, who may or may not be here as well. And everybody else, the Piper, everybody that's still here, thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow's another day, and it's at 8:30. We're going live. You'll have Adara over there. Apple shares moving sharply lower. What exactly? I cannot do this. I have to go.
Apple, what are you doing?
I don't see anything.
Obi is here. I mean, just
there he is right
him.
now. Oh, no. So there's Apple right now down to
Apple
225. Yeah, the CFO transition.
CFO transition here. They just announced it. So Kevon Parekh is that's their VP.
I'd buy this dip.
President of Financial Planning. They're going to be the new CFO and join the exec team.
Look what happens when the algos hit, just real quick, and then we'll wrap this up because we're a minute over right now. This is what happens when you see Alphabet, or Apple, or any of these Mag 7 names. Whenever you see news, you get these huge moves down because they see the move down and then they just mark it down because you don't know what that is. Apple delays iPhone shipments. Apple does this. Apple does that. Now you're simply just going to get a CFO. I don't think that's going to really move the market, but we do have it on Benzinga Pro. And here it is right here. Apple says CFO Luca, what's up, Luca? Mastery will transition from his role on January 1st. So again, just a little bit of a reshuffle there of the cabinet over in Apple. I would be buying any dips on that kind of a news. They know what they're doing, not us. All right, thank you, everybody. 8:30 tomorrow. See you then. Bye.
See you. Bye.